What is up? Hello, Vinny. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Front Face Locker. I'm your host, Brian, and with me, as always, is the man, the myth, and the legend, Muff Daddy, Vinny.
What's going on, guys? What's up, Brian?
What's up, Muff Daddy?
How you doing? You feeling off the chain today, or what?
I'm feeling off the chain, and we are awaiting the arrival of one only Buff Bagwell.
That's right. What do you think about that?
I spoke to his agent just about 2 minutes ago.
Who's also named Vinny.
Buff is just also named Vinny, and Buff is just getting himself ready. And he said, "So until then, how are you doing, Vinny?"
I'm doing okay. I had a little bit of what's it called? Are we on YouTube Live or just Facebook Live?
We're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live, we are on Twitter Live.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So I'm having a good day today, except we'll talk about it later on the show. But we had some engagements on Twitter, which were not safe for work and not so friendly, but that's okay. That's what we do.
That's exactly what we do. We're used to it.
I noticed you're wearing the NWO Wolfpack shirt.
I am wearing the NWO Wolfpack.
Getting my Buff Daddy dance ready.
I'm texting Buff now to let him know we're ready.
Tell him to swim move right in here, baby.
I was going to wear my DX shirt just to kind of be a dick.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it in time, so I wore my Wolfpack shirt instead.
It works. Do you think if I keep doing this to him, he's going to do it back?
Keep doing that?
Like every time we ask him a question, he says something, I just go, that's right. Be like, Buff, that question.
After he answers, like,
sweet.
Like, that was a great answer, Buff.
That's too sweet. You know what? First NWO member of the NWO we having on.
That is true. This is our first. So, funny story. When I was negotiating with him to get him on, and I was mentioning some of the other guests we've had, Just Incredible and PN News and Brian Clark, his first reaction was, "Were any of them in the NWO?" No, but and he's like, "Do you think they're more popular than I am?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of."
I mean, you could make an argument.
I guess
you could make an argument.
Yeah,
I can say that all of them lasted in the WWE longer.
Every one of them lasted in the WWE longer, including PN News, who was never in the WWE.
But he was in ECW, WWE ECW, wasn't he?
No, he was in ECW, plain ECW.
Oh, okay. Before the buyout.
So I'm really hoping that Buff isn't driving somewhere because we all know that he does not have a good driving record. So any moment now, and according to his agent,
he should be crashing our set.
His handler.
You like my hat?
I do like your hat. You say you got it at Spirits?
I got a Spirit Halloween, $12.99 for all of you Buff Bagwell aficionados, or if you just want to be like a fucking ringmaster. You think this hat was left over from Steve?
I just love how it. The ringmaster, maybe.
It was just back in like wardrobe, and they're like, "Yo, pick something." Like, oh, this looks pretty good.
It's like, I got this.
I'm gonna go.
I like how you can't see the
clothing. He's just going through the rack of clothing like this.
That's how he came up with the swing. We'll have to ask him that.
And then he takes the hat and goes. He goes, and that's how he got his flex on.
That's how he got his flex on. I'm just gonna write awaiting Buff.
Awaiting.
Because that's what we're doing. So I didn't watch Halloween Havoc while we're waiting for Mr. Buff Bagwell. You said it was 10.
I watched two matches. I watched the women's ladder match, which wasn't that good, but they took some nasty bumps, which makes me believe that those bumps weren't supposed to be as nasty as they were. Like the Io Shirai off the ladder onto another ladder was like, that looks sick. There was some other match right after it. It was like a 30-second squash match. This guy who wants to be like Kevin Owens, apparently. Like, he tries to look like him. And that sucked. And then the backstage segments were just awful. Ever since someone took over who's claiming he didn't take over, it's been nothing but downhill. And Johnny Gargano and fucking Dexter Lumis were running a haunted house or some shit. I don't know. It was bad.
Our buddy Justin Time, he's looking forward to this one. So are we. We're just waiting for this guy to stop doing cocaine and show up here. He's in the middle of a gigolo appointment. Or maybe he's watching us right now going, do I really want to show up? These guys are talking so much shit.
You think? Yeah, he's in the middle of a gigolo's appointment right now. I think that's more likely.
I got to make this grandmother come, and then I can show up.
So I gotta make this dusty old bitch climax. He's like, fucking cobwebs.
Are you good?
Dust bunny. He's like he pulls out an old photo album.
And he opens it up, and
he has to. Never mind.
Maybe he's just really.
She's got the same plastic film on her vagina. She's got the same plastic film on her vagina that the photo album has to protect the pictures.
Please tell me you're gonna. Can we ask him what the worst woman he had to ever fuck being a gigolo was?
Yes. It's probably Don Tony D.
Oh, that fucking... We'll get into him after the interview. Afternoon.
Do you think he ever...
I think maybe he's just a punctual guy and he's just waiting for 9 o'clock exactly.
Maybe. They said 9. It's gonna be... Maybe he can't count by the hour when it's off the hour.
What?
Huh? Who we got with us?
What?
Anybody?
You can't count by the hour when it's off the hour?
Yeah, when it's not on the hour.
We got a few people in here. We're waiting for Buff to show up. His agent assures us he'll be here any minute. I just to him. If he doesn't show up, then that motherfucker owes me money.
That's right. Owes us all money. Then we're just gonna have to buy Virgil.
Not his full amount, though. I told him
I meant pay Virgil. Pay Virgil.
Oh, yeah. You might want to clarify that. Jesus Christ.
I didn't mean that the way it came out. Pay Virgil. Vincent.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, here he comes.
Here, Mr. Buff Bagwell has arrived. Let's welcome him. You ready? What's up?
There he is.
What's up? Yeah, can we get it? Come on.
Can we get the swim move?
What's up, you bunch of motherfuckers?
What's up, man?
Oh, fuck. Hey, Van. Hand me a little bottle, please. Gotcha. Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Good. How you doing, Buff?
What do you? Whoa! Pass that along. What did you just do? Oh my God! What I would do, you just don't even know. But how you guys doing, man?
Doing well.
I'm sorry we couldn't do it. Sorry we couldn't do it last week.
I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead. What now?
I was just gonna say sorry we couldn't do it last week. Some shit just happened, but I'm glad to have you now.
No, man, don't worry about that shit. I'm just glad we got me here now, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna knock it out of the park, bro.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna start with one of these right here.
We got a little Buffweiser.
Look. Cheers! You got to cheers us, man. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Next
You
one.
think we do this shit sober?
That really didn't go down my throat. Cheers, guys. I love it. Oh, I love it. Hey, Vin. All right, we're good.
Which
Hey,
Vin?
you guys, so
Your
what's
Vin
up,
or our
baby?
Vin?
I got a Vinny. That's my boy, man.
He's got a Vinny. That's his boy. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So what's up, man? Tell me what's fucking new. Come on, lay it on me.
No.
Fucking lay it on me. What's up?
We got a lot of questions. Some questions you may have been asked a million times. Some questions you may not have been asked before. My first question for you is: you played baseball, you were a therapist, you were a boxer, you ran your parents' lumber yard. Why the fuck did you become a wrestler? How did that happen?
Great question. Every one of those were true, by the way, on what you just said. Every one of them were the truth. And the reason the wrestler thing happened and not the lumber yard was my senior year. Will you see if I got a beer in the fridge or not? Maybe I may be out.
I need one. I need somebody like your Vinny, so get me beer when I need one.
Right? It's like the Venn dog. I actually. Oh wow! Oh my God! I have one. Did he come by and bring more?
No, not yet.
Oh. The thing was, the company, the lumberyard company, went broke my senior year. Now keep in mind, I've got a 1.8 grade point average and didn't care because I had enough to play ball. I went to school to play ball, I wouldn't have gone. I would have just quit high school and went to work with my parents. My parents were making $1 million a month net in the 70s and 80s.
Damn.
Net, brother.
Wow.
So my brothers obviously graduated and went to work for my mom and dad. Well, my senior year, when I'm getting ready to go to work for mom and dad, they go broke. And I was like, well, now what? So it ended up me being in the fucking the baby was the complete support team of the whole family. So I fucking 1099'd my whole family, and I had them all work for me doing things. So at least keep in mind I was handing money out and losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So at least this way I could write them off the tax deduction, so it worked. So I did it that way, and we went with the 1099s, and I hired my entire company to work for the realbuffinc.com, and just 1099 them and got what we had to get done, and it all worked out. So I was the baby boy, ended up supporting the whole family. So that's to answer that question. That's why I went to the wrestling thing out of going to the lumberyard thing.
Now you bounce around in the indies for a while. You're what are you, Christian, Fabulous Fabian, Handsome Stranger, but you get your chance in WCW in '91. Talk to us about how that came about. How did you were the handsome young Marcus Alexander Bagwell, up and coming youngster, getting tag team. You were your PWI 1991 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
How did that? Did you get the call for that?
Believe it or not, I actually the PWI Rookie of the Year was Eric Watts, and the WCW Rookie of the Year, which of course was much bigger and I mean, they consider the PWI as the real rookie of the year, but that real rookie of the year don't get no fucking publicity. I was WCW's rookie of the year, which gets a lot of publicity. So I could give two flying fucks about being the PWI fucking rookie of the year. I wanted to be WCW's rookie of the year and was, and we, had a great run with it. And right after that became Scorpio, and we became tag team of the year. And it just kind of flowed from there with 6 world tag team titles with 5 different partners.
Now, how does that come about that you hooked up with Scorpio? Was that a organic thing between you and him working together, and you guys got along with working together, or was that you were paired up? And
it was actually something totally different. I had a singles match with Chris Benoit, and the match was actually really, 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 really good. I mean, just I was doing shit that I had no idea what I was doing, but I, at the same time, knew, how to do it. I could pull it off without even knowing what I was doing. I could just show me what we're doing, and I could do it again.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And I think one of them was called Skin the Cat. It's where the guy's right here, you took his head down, he comes up, and then you grab him, you guys all come up together, and it just all these crazy different moves, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I knew how to do it. So me and Benoit went out and had a fucking, about a 9 out of 10 match. I mean, a good 9. And when I got to the back, Dusty Rhodes, which has hired me, he said, "You didn't tell me you knew how to fucking wrestle." And I said, "Well, I just assumed you knew I was trying to be a pro wrestler. I mean, I didn't know, bro." And he said, "Oh my God," he goes, "Bro, so believe it or not, Big Van Vader and Scorpio lived in Boulder, Colorado at the time. And Big Van Vader said, 'Why don't you put him and Too Cold together?' And they put me and Too Cold together, and next thing you know, we were tag team of the year, world tag team champions.
Nice.
Was Too Cold as badass as he claims in the Dark Side of the Ring? Did he actually almost try to kill Hawk in Korea?
I love Scorpio, but if he did, I didn't see it. The only viewing I saw of Scorpio was in an Arkansas, house show. And I can't even tell you what building we were in. It was just a little rinky-dink Arkansas house show. And him and Mark Mero argued face to face for 10 fucking minutes. To the point where I stood up and I said, "Y'all both look like a couple of fucking pussies." I said, "Either fucking swing or fucking sit down."
Yeah, fuck or fight.
You got to be fucking kidding me. I said, "Swing or sit down," because y'all, and these are 2 of my friends. They're both my friends. And I said, "Y'all both look fucking stupid. Mama, your mother's a cunt. Mama, your mother's a cunt." Shove, not even a shove. Just words and like faced off each other. I go, "Do y'all realize how fucking embarrassing this is?" I said, "Fucking somebody swing."
Right.
And then they never swung. They kept the eyeball looking at each other and kept it going on and never one punch was thrown, not one shove. Absolutely nothing happened. And I thought they were the biggest pussies in the world, except I know Scorpio is not a pussy. Scorpio's a badass. And Mark Merrow was on the Olympic fucking boxing team. He's a badass. But there's a difference in badass or knock your fucking teeth down your throat when need be.
Right.
And these guys, neither one knocked nobody's teeth down nobody's throat. They didn't shove each other. They didn't even fucking belly flop each other. I mean, it was zero contact. It was just embarrassing. It was stupid and embarrassing. So I love them both, but that is the absolute truth. And if you ask them both, they'll both tell you the truth. If they're honest people, they'll both tell you that's exactly what happened.
Did you happen to be on that Collision in Korea trip or no? Where you guys, WCW went to Korea for the 2-day event where it was like 200,000 people. They just had the Dark Side of the Ring about it, where they had like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. They're threatening wrestlers and all kinds of in North Korea.
No, you said the magic words. I never went to North.
Okay.
I did the South Korea one. And that's the one with Sting, Luger, Bagwell, Steiners, Jarrett. We did a South Korea trip.
Okay.
We never did a North Korea one. We never did North Korea.
Now, after Scorpio, I mean, and this is just judging from my history of watching WCW, it almost kind of seemed like you got thrown to the mid-card. They didn't really know what to do with you, and you kind of bounce around, and then all of a sudden they put you – I mean, I might be missing something here and there, but, you become like almost a heel character. The whole buff character comes along, and they hear you with Scotty Riggs as the American Males. How did that come? Because you were the young, good-looking Marcus Alexander Bagwell, and then all of a sudden it's like, fuck you, I'm Buff Bagwell, and I'm with Scotty Riggs, and we're the American Males. Like, how did that come about?
Well, I was never buff with Scotty Riggs. Number one, I was not yet Buff Bagwell ever with Scotty Riggs. I was Marcus Alexander Bagwell throughout the whole Scotty Riggs thing. But not saying by no means, so please let me say that again. Not saying by no means I came up with the NWO or anything, but I saw the time had came that it was time that having a beard back when I was a babyface in my early beginnings in the early 90s, facial hair was a heel.
Right.
Earring was a heel.
Yeah.
Sunglasses was a heel. And I saw that changing. So with me and Riggs, we became the American Males with fucking dangly earrings, chokers, all the shit that NWO was going to be, but it still was, it was still fresh and new, so it was like, I mean, to the point where they said no to it. And then Terry Taylor called me back and he goes, "Hey, how fast can you grow your goatee back?" And I said, "I can grow my goatee back in 2 days." And he goes, "Grow it back." So I grew my goatee back. We went down to fucking, keep in mind, they give us 2 days and still you can't fuck me up. I came up with an outfit that looked incredible on TV that was just simply his pair of jeans, my pair of jeans. I had 2 shirts. I had a black sleeveless shirt that was frayed and a Levi sleeveless shirt that was frayed. And we got to Disney Disney put American males on the back of them and put sequins down our legs, black and white. I wore black boots. He wore white boots. And so it was kind of a black-white thing that we did. And we had time to pull that off. And it looked like $1 million on television. But when you see us in jeans, that was them giving us 2 days notice and me still being able to pull it off and make it cool and make it make sense for TV.
Nice. When you're told that you're going to turn on your partner Riggs and join the NWO, was that being said to you? A message sent to you like, all right, here's going to be my push. I'm joining the biggest faction now in WCW. This is my time to really make a big name for myself in the WCW.
No, none of that came across that way at all. It was me in my locker room in Salisbury, Maryland, and Kevin Nash came into my locker room and he goes, "Hey, bro," because me and Kevin go way back. Right. He was the badass bouncer in Atlanta, and I was the badass troublemaker that would knock you out in Atlanta. And he became the came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to be in the NWO?" And I said, "Hell yeah, man, I'd love to be." Well, I didn't know it, but they already had it set up that night they were going to do you got 30 days, to join the NWO, or, if you don't join the NWO in 30 days, your contract, you'll be fired and blah, blah, blah. And then me and Scotty were the very first ones to take that on.
Right.
And we showed up and came out, and I got out there with all that talent and all those stars, and it was just kind of overwhelming, kind of, And I was like, "Hey, let's this is where I need to be. I need to be. It's time for me to go to here, And me and Riggs already won the belts twice, and so it was just time to move on. So we were the first ones out, and Bischoff, as he's doing the interview, goes, "Hey, we got our first takers here, and it's me and Riggs coming out. Riggs is trying to talk me out of joining the NWO, and I'm fucking, doing the deal, going, no, man. And so we get in the ring, and I give all the NWO's guys high five, and then after that, I go whisper something with Scotty's ear, like just go ahead and leave, bro. It's time for you to go. He turns around, I hit him with the rude awakening. That's really what the Blockbuster was.
Okay.
The Blockbuster came from the rude awakening, but just off the rope.
All right.
It was like the neck breaker off the rope. And that's where that came from. And me and Scotty came up with it in a hotel room, doing it on hotel room beds. That's how I started. And the first time I ever tried it in the ring, ever, was it fucking sold out. The first time everybody saw the Caesar cut, Buff Bagwell choker, the armband, the whole Buff gimmick, and everybody was just like, "Oh my God, I didn't know he could look like this," And, earrings, all that, and just it just worked. It was just time, to turn heel, And so I fucking went out and did it, and it worked. So Scotty's career didn't last much longer, and I hate that for him. But at the same time, mine lifted and took me many miles.
Now, that's you get into the NWO. That's awesome. You're in one of the biggest factions, if not at the time the biggest faction. But if you want to fast forward towards the end of WCW or the NWO run, it kind of got watered down, and you can't deny that. Once you get to it's NWO, it's NWO Black and White, a Red and Gold Wolfpack, Silver and Gold 2000, whatever the hell they were doing with all the different NWO, LWO, BWO. What was it like being in it towards the OWN? Yeah, like you get to the end, it's kind of a watered down concept. You're still a member. I think at that time you were with Scott Steiner for a little while. What was the difference in the mindset of somebody like you who, no disrespect, you're kind of a mid-carder in the NWO. You were pushed into this huge faction. Are you still awake, Buff? What happened? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
No, I'm listening.
You're kind of a mid-carder, but you're pushing NWO, and then at the end, everybody's an NWO. It's kind of a watered-down thing. What was your mindset as somebody involved almost from the beginning?
Well, first we got to clarify the word mid-carder.
I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
No. And I don't take it as disrespect at all, but I am going to correct you. The word Buff Bagwell and the word mid-carder are nowhere in the same sentence. I was not a mid-carder. I have been a mid-carder. But once I turned from American Males on, and that is before Buff Bagwell, I was no longer a mid-carder. I was Rookie of the Year and Tag Team of the Year in 91, 92. So you're not a mid-carder no more if you are Tag Team of the Year. So we've got to get rid of that mid-carder with these comments. And if you want to keep calling me that, it doesn't bother me. It just to make it make sense. Buff Bagwell was not a mid-carder.
I don't mean that as somebody who's not at the top of their game. I just mean that as somebody literally who's most of the time was in the middle of the card towards the top, but not mainly in the main event.
But that's not true either. I was in 3/4 of the middle of the top. I was always, semi-main or 3 out for me in main. We hated talking about what match are you? Oh, I'm main. I'm semi. We hated that as wrestlers. We didn't talk like that. What number are you? I'm number 4. What number are you? I'm number 3. What number are you? What number? How many matches we got tonight? 7. What number are you? I'm 7. Wait, 7. What number's up right now? 3. So middle of the card is a little bit of a jab. Not meaning that, not that you mean to do it, not that I give a fuck, but I do got to clarify that because middle of the card is exactly how it sounds. Middle of the fucking card. And I was not middle of the card. When Too Cold Scorpio and Buff Bagwell wrestled the Nasty Boys in Germany, we were not middle of the card. When Too Cold Scorpio and Buff Bagwell wrestled Pretty Wonderful in Germany and in the States, they were not middle of the card. When we wrestled Clash of the Titans, Clash of the Champions, before there were even such thing as Nitro and all that, we were never, ever, 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 ever middle of the card. I've never wrestled any match. I don't think I've ever been considered middle of the card, ever in my life, ever. And that's something that people could argue about, possibly. That's something people could bring up and say, hey, yes, you were. And it'd be a discussion. But I'm letting you know, just so you know, that middle of the card is really kind of a jab. And not that you're doing it on purpose at all, because I'm so easy to work with, dude. I'm so fucking laid back and cool. You ain't got to worry about nothing you say to me. I'm just
Well,
saying,
obviously, if I call you a mid-carder by mistake, you're gonna get fucking pissed off.
Hey.
well, I'm trying to say it nicely because I'm a nice guy. But
Yeah, I didn't mean it disrespectfully, man. I just
no,
Right. Go fuck
I know
yourself.
you didn't. I know you didn't. But I want you to know that middle of the card is a pretty harsh statement. Just so you know.
We apologize for that. But moving on,
Yeah.
I want to get past this and get to like more questions we wanted to ask you. There's a lot.
Yeah. Please. And
Vinny, before you, I'm grabbing a beer. So no,
Yeah,
it's all right.
okay.
I need to grab a beer. I don't have a guy like Vinny to get a beer for me, which I wish I
Send
did.
them over. Send them on the plane over.
Go
Right
get your beer. Go get your beer, brother.
So listen, we got one of the one of our favorite matches we've talked about on a previous podcast. Obviously, it's one of the ones I'm sure people ask you a lot of questions about. It was the Judy Bagwell on the forklift match, you versus Canyon.
Which, by the way, I'm a huge fan. I'm sorry to cut you off, Vinny.
What?
I don't know if your mother's still with us. If she's not, my condolences. If she is, please give her my love. I'm a huge fan of your mother. I've said it multiple times in this show. Every time she was involved in a pay-per-view that she's on, I was a huge fan of your mother. So sorry to cut you off, Vinny. I just want to say that right off the bat.
That means a lot.
She's got what, 1 or 2 WCW championships?
Her and Rick Steiner, right? Well, I believe once or twice.
Right. Which is saying a lot more than people.
If wrestling was real, okay, I'm 100% real. Right now, my mother and Rick Steiner are the world tag team champions.
Yeah, I believe it. So what decision did that come about? Who made that decision to incorporate your mom into WCW, or was it because she was always around, or is it just something that you brought into the idea, like, hey, this is some angle I want to do with Canyon?
She was never around ever, and Rick Steiner thought of it.
Okay.
Rick Steiner came up with the idea. I broke my neck in Columbia, South Carolina. And when I broke my neck in Columbia, South Carolina, we're going back to Columbia after me breaking my neck. When I was a baby face when I broke it, we're going back as me being now a heel, a year later.
Right.
And so they brought up, hey, look, let's get your mom involved. Let's have her involved, and Rick came up with the whole idea, and Scotty fucking hated it, because keep in mind, brother, there's no girls in wrestling at this stage.
Right.
We had no girl matches.
Right.
We had a few girl interview people, a few girl ballets, but we had no girl matches or anything. So Scotty was dead against it. He hated it. And me and Scotty were huge together at this stage. I was Scotty's tag team. I was his manager.
Right.
Recovering from the broke neck. This was overalls, cover up, because I lost 50 pounds because of the broke neck, and I was trying to get back in shape to be, competitive again. And so we get to Columbia, South Carolina, and my mom that ran a lumber company in the 70s and 80s, as a woman, with every male truck driver, 208 men employees, and she is at the show ready to cut her promo and do her thing, and I can tell she's getting weak. And I go, what the fuck? I go, Mom, come on, you gotta snap the fuck out, man. You gotta snap out of here, baby girl. And so I pulled her to the side, I have a talk with her. I mean, nothing, man. The lights are on, but nobody's home. I mean, it ain't happening. And so I get Dad to talk to her, same thing. Nothing. I'm like, oh, fuck. What are we going to do? So here comes our time. And I get her to the side. I go, look, you've got to be the fucking Judy Bagwell of fucking Southeastern Building Supply. The person that didn't have a pen in their pocket, they got fired on the spot. That Judy Bagwell. I need that Judy. So she goes up and she goes to the apron, and she was not supposed to get in the ring. And I said, how does it make you feel? Which, by the way, this statement was true. It was the truth, which hurt worse. But I had no other way to go to pull her out. I said, how does it make you feel that without me, you couldn't even fucking eat?
Dang.
Wow.
And she climbed through the fucking ropes.
That's my girl. I love her.
Oh my God. Here she is. But at the same time, I'm going, yes. But her first mistake was she walks over to Scotty and he breaks her wrist.
Oh.
Oh.
Literally, she puts her hand out like to go grab him. He just grabs her and just breaks her fucking wrist. Right there.
Damn.
She no-sold it.
Damn.
Comes to me and says, what are you doing? These people are, did the baby face. These people are behind you and they love you and you're doing this and this. And I go, look, get out of my face, old lady. I said, don't you worry about what I'm doing. This is what I do, Well, she ended up like slapping me and grabbing me by the ear and dragging me all the way to the back. And for some reason, this is what got her over. This is the 100% what got her over. She threw me to the back and she turned around and raised her hands to the crowd. And the crowd went fucking ballistic.
That's awesome.
So it was just, she was made, instantly over. Over like her over, bro. She was over. She was over. So
that's my girl. I love Judy.
Yeah, she's a trip, bro. She's a trip. But I never quite understood the Judy Bagwell on the pole match.
Well, there's not a pole big enough in Vancouver to hold the battle axe, so they had to get the forklift according to Canyon. So
I like that. I like the battle axe. I like it. I like it.
Oh man.
I wonder what kind of pole we need to hold Canyon right now. Was that brutal?
Oh.
No, listen, we said some fucked up things on this show, but I don't even know how to respond to that.
You know what? I say shit you can't respond to. That's why I say it so good. Because the
You just
bottom
caught
line
us off guard.
The bottom line is a skeleton will hang from a pole a lot easier than my mom would.
That is true.
It is true.
So
we get in the canyon.
Yeah, so we can get him on a pole easily with a fucking rope around his neck and a skeleton with a bunch of fucking moss hanging from it than my mom hanging up there. So yeah, that makes sense. And and to be honest with you, I'm a huge Chris Canyon fan. He's a great guy.
Sounds like it.
Great, yeah, it really does, right? But being for real, I'm a huge Chris Canyon fan.
Yeah.
I enjoyed working with him tremendously. He's a tremendous fucking worker. He's one of the best workers I've ever worked ever. He's a good guy. He just had a bad ride with the closet, the in-out closet thing. He just didn't know which way to go. and I get it. I feel sorry for him in a lot of ways, and feel like, he had a lot in front of him, but he just had so much on him with the closet gimmick, and just I hate it for him. I hate anybody having to fight that kind of battle. We had a little fun and joked a little bit, but to be honest with you, that's Chris. Me and Chris were actually very tight. We were very close, and he was a great guy, and I just hate that what happened, but it just is what it is. I mean, there's been so many tragedies in this business. I've wrestled 80 plus dead guys now.
We actually had
while they were alive, right?
Huh?
You wrestled them while they were alive, right?
Let's see. Yes. I had to think about it to make sure. But all 80 plus were definitely alive before I wrestled them, but 80 plus dead guys now.
So if you're not familiar with our podcast, we actually, aside from interviews, we do old school pay-per-views, and we talk about them, and we poke fun at certain things, and we actually have a dead wrestler bell for every time that there's somebody that's in the match that is no longer with us. We hit a bell, and what was the record that we had? We had one that was like 15.
It was like 15 or 6. It was actually I always thought WrestleMania 6 was the record, but it was actually one we did recently. It might have been a WCW one actually that had about 15 or 16 dead wrestlers. That you're just listening. You're like, oh, because it started because we were watching a Royal Rumble, one of our first episodes. I was like, oh shit, that guy's dead. That guy's dead. That guy. So we just incorporated a bell. So now going back to watch your matches after this interview, we're just gonna have to sit there and hit the bell 80 times.
Yeah, like every time you get in the ring, we're gonna have to hit the fucking bell.
It's like, oh shit, Buff's in the ring with somebody. This guy must be dead.
Maybe Buff killed him.
That's fucking great, dude. That's fucking great. I swear to God. But really, for real, think about that, bro. 80 fucking guys? 80 motherfuckers you wrestled that are dead now? Not 80 guys I knew. That don't count Jim Hellwig. That don't count Owen Hart. That don't count Dusty Rose, who hired me. That's fucking 80 guys I locked up with and wrestled, and it's 80 plus. That's fucked up, man. That really is. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like finding out a girl you had sex with died a couple years later. It's like, damn, I fucked her. She's dead now.
Yeah, I fucked that bitch, and she's dead. Damn it. Damn, but she was a good piece of ass, though.
When she was alive, obviously. Well,
hey, no. Keep in mind, it's according how dead she is. I hit it still. I may still hit it.
Who's that?
Vinny, he was saying about all the dead wrestlers, and I said, well, it's like kind of fucking a girl, and then you find out she died. Well, you fucked her when she was alive, and Buff kind of went down a road I wasn't really ready to go down.
I said, hey, I may hit it when she's dead.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Tell you why, jelly goes a long ways, baby.
Well, we're going to get into you. Yeah, we're going to get into that. But I want to ask you a question that has been kind of controversial over the years. Like, what exactly is the story of you getting fired from WWE? Because according to Jim Ross, Judy, your mother, who's a wonderful woman, called and I don't know, you had the sniffles or something, and she called you out of work, and then you got fired. What? And you refute that story, say it's not true. What exactly is the story?
What's the real story?
I'm gonna start it this way because I think it always starts the best by saying it this way. Pretend like you're yourself. Okay?
Easy.
And
Done.
You are 2 weeks into making the WWE. You wrestle Booker T with 25 stitches in your head, main event Raw. Main event. 25 stitches in my head where Sugar Shane Helms hit me in the back of the head with a frozen water bottle ice, which he acts like it wasn't frozen, which a frozen water bottle is a fucking brick. If anybody knows about a frozen water bottle.
Yeah, I used to throw them at Iraqis when I was in Iraq.
I mean, wait, I don't know how I stood up. I don't know. I swear to God, he hit me so hard. To this day, I do not know how I stood up. But, I mean, gushing blood. And all of the other guys looked at me like, please don't tell the truth. Please don't tell the truth. So I lied. I said, I fell. And they said, you fell? I said, dude, I slipped coming out of the thing and I fell, hit my head. You know, that's what happened, you know. And I told him, and then once Johnny Ace and the other guy went off, Ricky Santana, I said, guys, y'all have already fucking text and emailed everybody you could get in touch with on what's really happened here. So, Buff, because at that stage, Buff Bagwell had a job. Buff Bagwell 100% had a job at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, I was like, you know, bro, I said, you know, this is stupid. We're dumb to lie about this. But they just begged me to lie. So I lied. And I showed up at the next paper. I showed up that Monday night, me and Booker wrestled with 25 stitches in my head that I had my own doctor paid for. I did not tell them about it. I didn't want to cause any problems at all. So I went to my own doctor. I flew home and had my own doctor stitch me up, stable me up. And so when I wrestled Booker T, they had to get a Sharpie and Sharpie over the staples and the bald spot so you couldn't see the markings. And then after that was on Monday night, Thursday, actually it was Wednesday, I say it like this is the way I say it in every other podcast. There's only 3 witnesses: God, Jim Ross, and me. And Jim Ross says, Bagwell, hey, take off, let your head rest. We got big plans for you on Monday, and we just want you to take some time off and just get settled. We're proud of you for sticking it out for the pay-per-view, for the main event, being hurt. And we got big plans for you on Monday. And so, of course, I go, okay, thanks. That gets switched around all the way to my mother called in to get me out of those shows. Now, why would I wrestle fucking Booker T in a main event on Raw and then get my mother, you're trying to get a job at the WWF at the time still, and you get your mother to call in that you're sick? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, I've been in this business for 33 years now. I mean, are you kidding me? Of course you don't do that.
So do you think it's a matter of someone in the WWF didn't like you and this was their way to get rid of you and then try to save face by trying to embarrass you? Is that
not somebody? One person.
Jim Ross or one of the two?
I had to be Jim Ross.
Okay.
Now,
and you worked with him for a long time in WCW.
And with great friends.
Right.
But you think he didn't want you in WWF or WWE, WWF at the time?
Now I can't answer. I have no idea. I have no earthly idea except we were great friends, and we really thought I really thought we were good. Except here's the only facts I got. His complaint on Steve Austin's podcast and on several podcasts he's done is he liked me and really, really, really liked me, but was just doing his job. Now, if he really, really liked me and was just doing his job, what would I have to really say? I got no say so.
But if you,
he likes me, and he was doing his job to fire me. So where would my heat be with Jim Ross?
Yeah.
Except if you pull up a DVD that I've got anytime you want to see it of him on a round table, and he dogs me the fuck out.
Legends of Wrestling on the network, or the old network. It's on Peacock now, but I remember watching that.
He drills the fuck out of me.
So maybe Jim Ross is just a snake.
Why would you drill me if you like me? So
right.
There had to be something more to it than that. That has had to be.
Speaking. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, have you had any communication with Jim Ross since the incident?
We've hugged and made up. It's because it just got so old and just wasn't getting nowhere. And Stone Cold is the closest it had him. Stone Cold had him where he said, I was just doing my job. And all Stone Cold had to do was say, well, Jim, explain this video right here.
Right.
And show that round table. And he wouldn't have known what to say. So nobody's ever asked him in the right way of getting to the bottom of it. And so I don't know. I don't know, except regardless, he acted like we were friends. He said we were friends, and then he acts like we're not, and drills me. You know.
So in essence, Jim Ross is he kind of seems a little two-faced.
I mean, I don't see no other way. I mean, that's how I saw it. You know, that's how I saw it flat out. I mean, I just, of course. You know, I mean, I don't know how else to see it. I mean, when you fucking bury somebody like that and bring up a fucking lie, a fucking flat out lie, saying that my mother called and me sick. My mother don't even know their fucking phone number. Hell, I don't even know his fucking phone number. Somehow find the number to call me up. Here's the catch. I'm going to fucking cancel three house shows that are make it home each night. And I'm going to do that with Monday's pay-per-view, Monday's Nitro coming up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to make a job. I'm trying to survive and make it in the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I need to do is call in sick to work, much less have my mother call me. So he definitely 100%, no matter what comes out of this, he lied 100% about my mother calling.
Okay.
So you say, Finny, go ahead.
No, I was gonna transition to something else unless you got one more thing.
I said, I don't know. I don't know what. Obviously, you're the type of person that is saying he's lying. Me, as the type of if somebody cost me my livelihood, and they're lying about the reason why they cost it for me, and you're saying you made up with him, like you didn't make up. You hugged him and you kind of said, "Oh, Squatch, it's an old story." I couldn't do that. How did you ever say to him, like, what the fuck? You lied. I lost my life. I mean, because no offense, you haven't gotten to the level you were at in WCW since then. So how can you kind of like squash and hug him?
For months that happened over the internet. For months, it was to the point of it was on Stone Cold's podcast. But like I said, none of them did what my podcast did and showed with him saying, look, he's never had to rebuttal. He's never been contested to have to rebuttal to saying he was doing his job and he liked me to saying what he said on that round table. He's never
but
been
how can you look him in the eye when you said you hugged him and you kind of squashed it? How can you look him in the eye knowing he killed your livelihood at that point and give him a hug? I couldn't do that.
I was just nothing else was working. Nobody else was listening and nobody else was buying it. So I just decided to fucking just maybe squashing it would make it better and just
extend the olive branch or something like that.
It wasn't getting nowhere, bro. It wasn't getting nowhere. Me telling the truth, me telling it like it was, me knowing that he fucked me. There was no way to tell it another way. And I wasn't getting nowhere. So I finally decided to just say, look, let's fuck it. Let's just squash it and let it be gone,
Speaking of people you don't get along with, I wanted Ryan to ask this question, but he was watching a podcast the other day, and a wrestler that you wrestled with, apparently you guys have real heat. Ryan, if you want to.
So a friend of our, a podcast that we're friends with, Chat, I'm going to fuck up their name. Chat Pops and whatever the fuck their name. It doesn't matter. They're going to get so pissed out I fucked up their name. Chat, Grapples, and Cheap Pops. They had Kiwi, Alan Funk on, and Alan Funk had some choice words.
What a fag.
Oh,
what a fucking fag.
All right. So, I don't even have.
You know what? Let me top it off. What a cock-sucking fag.
Oh, my goodness.
He's a cock-sucking fag that has never been anything at WCW to save his life but a piece of fucking shit. He got his face crushed in. His wife left him, and he's a piece of fucking shit. I called him a bitch right to his goddamn face. The most views he's ever had in his life on his podcast,
I believe it,
was when he showed my video. So all the cocksucker did was be able to fucking show my video to get some views. Until then, all of his things had 0 views. So, Kwee-wee, you bag motherfucker, you can suck my fucking dick. You can meet me at my fucking mailbox. I will beat your fucking brains out with one leg. You are a pussy.
Can we quote you on this?
Quote me, motherfucker. You were
quote.
5 feet away from me, and I called you a fucking bitch, and you did nothing about it. You know why? Because you're a fucking bitch.
Listen, when we watched the pay-per-view with him in it, I didn't even know that guy existed.
Wait. Vinny, let him go. He's on a roll. He's on
a
roll.
Sorry.
He's a slut gut fucking whore piece of fucking shit. He has never done nothing at WCW except play a fucking fag that sucks lollipops. What a fucking character you were. Oh boy. I guess hey, be waiting for that WWF Hall of Fame ring coming around the corner any fucking time now. I sucked a lollipop like it was a cock. I was a pro wrestler.
Hey, Rod,
I think
he's a hidden host of our show. The natural.
Yeah, so Buff, what you're saying is that if you saw Kiwi now, you wouldn't hug him and squash the whole situation like you did with JR.
Unless you want to get a lollipop sucked in your fucking ear.
Kiwi would want to mouth hug you, I think, when if you saw you.
Like I said, real simple. If I called you a bitch, what are you going to do?
I'm probably going to fight you.
What are you going to do if I called you a bitch?
Me? I'm a bitch, so I'm just going to say, yeah, you're right.
Okay. Regardless, most guys that get called a bitch are going to react. Most guys.
Most guys.
Okay.
He said, we got to talk before you go to your car. I go, what about? And he goes, you know what about? I said, look, bro, you're a fucking bitch.
And he unwrapped that blow pop and seductively put it into
right on video. And the saddest part about it is, it's his highest rated views he's got is me. So it took me to create the most views on his own pathetic little podcast he's got. I mean, just imagine your fucking name tomorrow morning when you wake up, motherfucker. Just fucking imagine this. Your fucking name tomorrow morning is Kiwi. I would blow my fucking brain out. I swear to God, I would get a 357 and I'll go back to y'all's show, Front Face Lock, and I'll put a gun right here.
Jesus.
And I will blow my fucking brains out on live.
Can we get you guarantee if you decide to blow your brains out, you'll do it on this show?
Oh, guaranteed.
Oh, God. I don't want that.
Guaranteed.
Please.
We don't want you to do it. We don't want you to do it. But if you do it.
No, I'm with you. But if I decide to, I will go Front Face Lock.
Why don't
I will tell you I will blow my fucking brains out if my name became Kiwi.
Tell us.
Kiwi.
I would love to petition a celebrity boxing match between you and Kiwi. How awesome would that be?
You'd never get him to do it.
Never get him to do it.
Never get him to do it.
Maybe he'd just be looking at you, licking his lollipop, imagining what his career could have been.
Well, for starters, somebody had to get him off his knees.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Now, if you ever do listen to this show, we have rumored, we have debated, we have questioned, we have other podcasts saying you talk about it too much. How the fuck did somebody like Disco Inferno, Hugh Morris, Mang, Brian Clark, who used to be our friend, how did they get on so many pay-per-views? Did they suck dick in the back? And if so, they suck as much dick as Kiwi as you're saying. Because there's some reason Disco Inferno and all these guys are on every fucking pay-per-view in 98, 99, and 2000.
And the end. Like Disco will fight in the opening match and then like 3 matches later.
Well, this is the first time I've noticed that, or I've been told that. So I don't know. I didn't know that, to be honest with you. But when I got the fag thing thrown on me at the very beginning, of course.
We don't mean it in a sexual way, like it's gay thing or anything. We just mean, what were they doing? Were they sucking dick, like Eric Bischoff's dick in the back, saying, we're not doing it like a sexuality thing?
Let me finish. I'll give you the answer.
All right.
The answer is that if you're sucking, did Disco win the match?
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes he does, but usually not.
But usually not, right?
Right.
He's sucking the wrong dick. Because if I am going to suck a dick to get ahead in this business, I'm at least going to be a winner.
Oh, God.
You're going to suck the right dick.
I can't argue with you.
I'm going to suck a dick, and I'm going to win the match.
Hey, you got to aim high.
Hey.
No, it's just called. You know what it is? It's just logic.
Right? You're right.
Do you think if I'm gonna have to suck a dick?
I'm not sucking the losing dick.
So when I finally got it on me of the fag and sucking dick and all that, I said, "When was the last time you see me win a match?" And the crowd that was on me at the time at catering in Orlando, they said, "God, you haven't." And I go, "So do y'all really think I'm gonna suck a dick and lose?"
I mean,
I said, if I'm gonna suck a dick, I'm gonna fucking win. So to answer your question, he's sucking the wrong dick, or he's just a fag,
or he's just really bad at it.
Yeah.
So a little transition away from WCW and WWE for a while, and more on the subject. You happen to be on another venture in 2014. You're on a show on HBO, right? Called Gigolos.
Showtime, I believe.
Showtime, Gigolos. How did that all happen? Like, what wound up? Was that something that just fell in your lap, like figuratively and literally, or like how did somebody from the casting agency see you in wrestling and approach you, or did you go out? How does
it actually is, before you go any deeper, it's actually much more simple than that.
Okay.
I wrecked my Jeep in 2014 real bad, and I was in a coma, and my manager at the time wanted me out of wrestling. He wanted me to be done with wrestling and just give it up, and it's a trashy business, and you can come work for my company and this and that. So we changed my number, and he fucking dies.
Oh.
Falls in his house, hits his head, and dies of a brain hematoma.
Jesus.
And I found him dead. I'm the one that found him dead. I'm the one that dialed 911. And the problem is, after that, we'd already changed my number. And 6 days after he died, I had the car wreck. So now people don't know, and promoters, they don't know how to get in touch with me because I changed my number. They don't know if I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm going to continue wrestling, if I'm not going to continue wrestling. They don't know. So then when all that happened, I called my manager and I said, "Hey, bro, it's time. It's time to go all the fucking way out, no matter what it is." And he told me about this show on Showtime called American Gigolos. And on the American Gigolos, he finds this show, and he calls them up, and of course they're like, "Hell yeah, we'd love to have Buff Bagwell on here," which to this day was the best, the highest rated show they ever had in 5 years.
Well, that's because they added your star power, your name added, had some star power to it.
Absolutely, and so it worked, and they were going to have a whole nother segment and have an Atlanta-based crew. I was going to run all the Atlanta Gigolos, and a guy named Gavin was going to run the Las Vegas Gigolos. And then we could, intertwine, intermix, or whatever, but have two, stories going on in two different cities.
Right.
And so I signed a $240,000 contract. And they canceled the show.
Hmm.
So that did that end. But how that came about was nobody knew where I was, and it was time to let everybody know where I was, and to fucking at least let me know where I was at. And if you wanted to book me again, and it worked. It worked perfectly. It worked great.
Who was the most disgusting woman you had to fuck on Gigolos?
I only did one. I only did one episode.
I mean, did they air everything they filmed? No, or is there something where it's like you show up at a house and you're like, oh, not doing that. Let's cut and let's go to somebody else's house.
It was part. She worked for Showtime too.
Like, okay. So it was all pre-planned. So it wasn't like,
the girl you saw me fucking that night. If you watch the video back, my dick's about that big. There's 100 cameras. Turtleneck. I mean, turtleneck. I mean, there's 100 cameras around. I'm nervous. So I got as close as I could to her, doggy style, and just pretended like I was fucking her. And I swear to God, two of my best friends to this day think I'm lying to them. And they don't know that just means that I'm a great actor on fucking, I guess. But
I mean, Ryan's watched the episode like 20 times, and he couldn't tell the difference.
20 times today.
I mean, I guess I did a hell of a job. I can tell you this. I was barely touching her pussy and wasn't so much even close to penetrating.
What's happening?
And then when I got to the boss, I go, "Hey, bro," I said, "I'm so sorry I couldn't fuck her." He goes, "You're not supposed to fuck her." And I go, "Well, nobody told me." They're like wrestlers, or they're like a bunch of boys.
Kayfabe.
A bunch of
boys fucking.
They go, Lane figured out itself kind of thing, And they go, well, he I said, "I'm so sorry. I couldn't get hard." And he goes, "You're not supposed to fuck her anyway." And there's a fine line with Showtime and not fucking and X-rated videotapes where you see the dick going in and all that stuff.
Yeah, the penetration.
So, I don't know exactly the rules. I don't know the rules and all that, and what the rules are and all that. But still, I wasn't even supposed to fuck her. So what I did was perfect, and it was what it needed to be done.
So you did your job.
So for the record, you weren't at all ever a actual real gigolo male escort. None of that. It was all Hollywood.
No, I had like three or four paid things where I spent the night and fucked the girl. But got paid like $4,000 for it.
Holy shit!
Damn, I might have to go to the gym and be buff.
Cowboys, the number 4 angels is what you look at. If you look that up, it shows your prices, and it's like $400 for a date, $3,000 or $4,000 for a spend the night, $20,000 for a week, that kind of thing.
So I could have almost spent the same amount of money to get you on the show that I could have had just for a date with you.
Yes.
Well, now I'm questioning my spending.
Yeah, I mean, now were these women more like Miss Hancock, or were they like Abdullah the Butcher?
I wouldn't even say in between, but I would say
Not good.
6s and 7s.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it was definitely it wasn't embarrassing at all.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely enough that you didn't feel stupid or look stupid.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not.
It was
That's not-
strong 6s and 7s.
Oh,
I think a 6 or a 7 by Buff standards would be like a 11 or 12 by my standards.
There you go.
So I got a question for you, Buff. Over the years, you've had a few run-ins with the law. Obviously, a lot of traffic accidents, and
me?
I don't want to say you, but you.
No,
have you ever just considered taking
guy.
Have you ever just considered taking a fucking Uber somewhere? Like, maybe you don't have to drive everywhere.
Well, the problem is, to be honest with you, there's only one. And this last one got confused to be. There were 2, and it got all mixed up. But there's only been 1 or 2 cases that Uber was even around.
They had taxi cabs.
The rest, well, still, the rest are so much there wasn't no Uber. The rest were, just nobody got a taxi cab back then, and
I mean, call a friend, something like, "Hey, I'm kind of fucked up. Like, I got a DUI. I'm not gonna badmouth you because you drove drunk. I have a DUI, but after the first one, I kind of went, I'm not gonna drive anymore.
Well,
I'm not shit talking you. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you got fucking 5 of them with none of them are alcohol?
No, only alcohol, but I was over twice the legal limit, so
that don't count.
That don't count.
I've got 5 DUIs and none of them are alcohol.
Maybe you should stop driving. I'm just saying, I'm just saying maybe get a ride.
You're missing the whole point. The whole point comes down to when it's not alcohol and you blow clean, then it's up to them.
It's a law enforcement officer's discretion at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So, there was times that just like I'm talking to you right now, I got a DUI. And I was this sober, this fine, but they saw some pills in my pouch and acting like, well, he's under the influence. They're in his bag. And I literally was signing autographs at the police station. So it wasn't like that, and believe it or not, it's what kept me out of so much trouble. I did 30 days for having 5 DUIs in 10 years. I did 30 days. That's the kind of story you can't even tell in jail.
Right.
Because nobody's going to believe you. So my point is, I did that because you don't think I wasn't fucked up. I knew I wasn't drunk. But when they pull you over and they see those pills in your pouch, then they can do it on their own assessment.
Right.
They can do it on their own opinion. And I swear to God, on my life, I hope I die tonight. On my life, I've been just like this right here and gotten DUIs before.
That's crazy.
But you were driving.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Now, there was instances, though, I know there was recently, right, where you did crash. Is there I don't want to get into medical things, but is there medical reasons why this is happening? I read on a Wikipedia that your first crash where, you had the neck brace, you broke your neck and stuff like that. There was a seizure issue. Is it something that happened from when you were in the ring, or?
Yeah, I had a seizure on the 2014 one. I had a seizure. And they, of course, as soon as they saw it, they gave me a DUI. And by the time it was over, I just had got out of rehab, and so my all my levels were, there was nothing in my toxicology report at all.
Right.
Nothing wrong at all. So they had to drop the DUI.
Was the rehab is for prescription pills or alcohol, drugs, but pills?
Prescription pills.
Because of painkillers from.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the question I was going to ask you, and I mean this sincerely, and I don't mean to sound like a dick. I mean, I know the whole mid-Carter thing really tipped you off, which I didn't mean.
No. I'm not about that.
I have a sincere question, and I'm asking this genuinely, so don't think I'm asking it to be a dick, because it does kind of sound like a dick question. And our friend at Terrible Wrestling Takes that I'm being too professional. He obviously missed the whole dick sucking part. But so anyone who needs rehab obviously deserves to go to rehab and deserves to better themselves. And I know you had requested from WWE or reached out about paying for your rehab. But in your words, and I'm not quoting verbatim because I don't remember exactly what you said. You had said something along the lines of you want to further your career in AEW. So were you expecting WWE to pay for your rehab so you can go to WWE, which to me is kind of like going to McDonald's college and then going to, or AEW, what did I say? WWE, whatever the fuck I said, AEW. It's like going to McDonald's college and then working for Burger King. I mean, you obviously want to go to rehab. You deserve to go to rehab. But did you approach WWE saying, like, I want to go to rehab so I can further my career in AEW, like you said on your podcast? And if so, like, why should WWE pay?
It was actually more like Kevin Nash called me up and asked me, hey, why don't you go to rehab with first of all, I'm not as bad off as everybody thinks. That's number one, and that's the truth.
I'm just going by what your podcast. I watched the podcast that you said that, and that's all I'm going based off of.
I heard you. So let me answer it. I'm just saying that I'm not near as bad off as everybody thinks, but as soon as I say that to your Kevin Nashes and your Dallas Pages and the guys that are super, super great friends of mine, I love them to death. I'm not sure where I'm at on their boat, but I love those guys to death. But they automatically think, the boy that cried wolf, and but it was all their idea. So the me going to there's no thing in the WWE program on you going to that program to come to their company. That's not what it's for. It's just to get your body clean. It's to get your life straight. So to answer your question, if I did even say it that way, it just meant I know the WWE don't want a fucking thing to do with me, and the AEW possibly does. And I think I got a better shot there. And the WWE ain't got a fucking prayer there. And but they've also got a thing that right this second as we speak, a lawyer has got our case. And guess how many guys have ever been turned down for the WWE program?
I'm
going to say
one.
Hey, just you. Yeah, just you.
Uno. One, motherfucker. There ain't something behind that. There ain't something along with that.
I mean, no disrespect to this again, but you were in WWE for a cup of coffee, and you obviously need help. You obviously want to go to rehab, and that's great. Everybody deserves to go if they need to, but you were only there for a brief period. And because in your podcast,
doesn't.
you had
But what you're saying doesn't matter. That's still illegal. Do you know how many of those letters I got? About 100. About 100 of those letters. They came every week. But I didn't need it. I wasn't in trouble. I wasn't in a bind. I didn't have, any problems or anything. So everything was fine, And so it just is what it is. And they said no to me because of the lawsuit I had, was what Dallas told me they said.
That was the lawsuit that had to do with wasn't that the concussion issue?
No, I wasn't nowhere near that one. That's the fucking dumbass boys that fucking think they're gonna hop on the concussion thing. I did this for a living, and I took my own chances and did my own thing. This was me and Scott Levy alone had a thing against Vince, where how much they've showed me on the WWE network.
That's right. It was about the royalties.
10 zillion fucking times.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been paid a penny for that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not a fucking penny. Not
a
dime.
Now, were you trademark? Did you trademark Buff Bagwell yourself, or was that a WCW owned entity? So Buff Bagwell is your trademark.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, so you should be able to be compensated for everything that uses your name by law.
Do you think? There's no fucking doubt. So we got a lawyer looking into it right now. It's just amazing that they can show me as much time as they want to show me, like they showed me on TV, and still did not give me one dime. I mean, fucking listen to me, bro. Not a fucking dime.
Yeah,
on the WWE network, bro. Nothing, zero. And they showed me a lot. I would hear every town I went to, I'd hear, hey, I saw you in Too Cold Scorpio this weekend. I saw you last night with you and Stars and Stripes. I saw you. And I'm just saying to myself, and I've got zero money for it. Zero money. So, I hear what you're saying, big man. I really do. On the rawness of it, but it's not the facts. The facts are this program is for anybody that was at the WWE. And I was there, and I'm the only person in the face of the fucking world that got turned down. I call that word, I don't know about you motherfuckers, but I call that discrimination.
No, I'd agree.
I mean, there's some kind of discrimination there when you fucking say no to the only motherfucker alive that's asking for help, to the point where Dallas Page was beside itself. He was like, I can't fucking believe it.
And there's nothing that those guys can do. You know, Kevin Nash is on the Legends, contract. I don't know about Diamond Dallas if he's still working with them or not, but there's nothing that they could do, strings they could pull, to reach out and get that ball moving. I mean, I don't know how it works. So,
and I'm not sure either. I just kind of it just was. Everybody was so overwhelmed that they said no to me, that they didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to do. They just were like, oh my God, they actually said no to you.
Wow.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding.
So
now let's just say that they do accept you, or you do get the help that you're looking for, and you do get signed by AEW. Now, I'm personally not a fan of AEW. Vinny has watched it a little bit more. My personal thought on AEW is they're kind of turning into what WCW, the downfall of what WCW became as far as signing older wrestlers and past or prime wrestlers. Not saying that's you, but where do you think your role in AEW would be if they signed you? I mean, do you think you could be an active wrestler against some of their younger roster?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, it's just I fit in somewhere. I mean, when I turn it on, I see Jake the Snake Roberts, which I'm a huge fan of. But I see him coming out. I see Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
I see
that's the WCW thing that I say is their downfall.
Right. But I'm saying, obviously, they see power in that, and if there's power in that, then there's power in Buff Bagwell.
So what, like, specifically, I think, well, first I want to ask, what kind of wrestling shape are you in? I noticed the crutches in the background. I don't know if that's yours.
Yeah.
Are you... If you want to explain, are those yours? Is there something that happens, an injury?
They're mine. I still walk like in the mornings and late at night. I do need them a little bit
for your knees or something.
But I just had my last surgery.
Okay,
which is called a manipulation surgery. So I went from no crutches at all for about 3 weeks, and then had this manipulation surgery, and it was pretty deep. They put you under, and they bend your knee in every direction, to get it going again. And so out of that, of course, comes some pain and a little bit of Olympia. So mornings and late, I have a little trouble getting around. I mean, I can get around, but it's slow to hobble around. I can just walk faster with the crutches. And so I'm going to physical therapy, and like I said, I'm probably 3 or 4 months out from being 100%.
Okay,
where I can wrestle a match.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Right.
Yeah.
So, would you be looking for a active wrestling role, or would you want like a hybrid? Would you have valet / wrestler? I'm not valet, but
I think the valet type thing, and is what I'd like to be, and I'd like to be able to tell people how to take their positions and what they're doing, and say, look, if you do this, this, and this, it'll be a lot cooler,
like a backstage leader almost.
Yeah. Like an agent, an agent that helps them out, or a coach or whatever, but even the coach is what I'd love to be. I'd love to be a coach.
Now, let me ask you this question, and this goes back to something we talked about earlier. Jim Ross works for AEW. You obviously think he has an issue with you. Do you think
that's my problem is everybody I got a problem with is now in position of
power.
Where
now,
I thought,
now why not go to like a Ring of Honor or Ring of Honor? Yeah, they just kind of disbanded, but like an Impact Wrestling or an NWA with Billy Corgan, like why not try to go to one of them and build that brand up as one of your own? Like, oh, this is my creation. I helped build this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I mean,
I'm just really trying to let the cards fall where they may right now and get back ready, and so I'm able to. So right now, it's all about me just physically getting back right.
Now, I know that you had, I believe, Lex Luger on your podcast maybe last week, a couple of weeks ago, I believe, if I'm mistaken. You were in the tag team with him, right? Totally Buff.
Yeah.
It seems like you were very good friends with Lex Luger. Do you still remain good friends with him? Are there people are there people that you have always been by your side since your WCW days? Or we've talked to other wrestlers where kind of like Justin Credible says he doesn't really talk to many people from ECW. PN News says he doesn't really talk to a lot of people from WCW. Do you still have close relationships with wrestlers, or?
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, I still have several coach relationships with several wrestlers: Sting, Luger, Steiners. There's a bunch I still have good relationships with.
All right.
It's like high school. It's like high school. I mean, it's like hey, we're gonna stay in touch forever. And
All right.
2 months later, so and so's pregnant and they're gone, and the guys moved away, and it's hard, but I do keep a pretty good rapport with friendships with wrestling.
Now, excuse me. One of my favorite questions to ask everybody we have on this show is, you're always going to be asked the question, what was your dream match? What did you love wrestling? We don't like gossip on this show, but we like dirt. And I want to know who you fucking hated. Like, who's the person that you looked on the whiteboard or whatever it was, and you saw your name versus XYZ? Who did you fucking hate getting in the ring with?
Besides Kwee-Wee.
Besides Kwee-Wee, obviously.
Never wrestling.
I don't think he wrestled anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to pull my pants down to do that. Let's see. God, man, it's WCW was a family, bro. That we really were. There wasn't much heat with WCW because everybody knew Mark Bagwell. They knew Mark. See, at WWF, they knew Buff Bagwell Computer.
Yeah.
They didn't know Marcus Bagwell in person.
Right.
They knew all the drama that Buff Bagwell drawed to the crowd.
Right. They bought your gimmick and not who you were personally.
Yes. So that's why that didn't work.
Now, what about So there was I've heard Goldberg is someone that's rough to work with. Did you have an issue working with him, or? I mean, I heard he's been pretty stiff. There's a lot of times it's just
he's a fucking maniac. I love him to death, but he's just stiff to the point where you go like, "Look, Bill, we got to do this shit again next week, bro." I mean, you got to ease up. But then again, he didn't know he couldn't do that. He couldn't ease up.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you got? Is there anybody you've ever got in the ring with that you've had to go in the back, backstage, and be like, besides Goldberg, obviously, where you had to be like, dude, come on, we're doing this 6 times a week.
Yeah, you almost hurt me. Yeah.
Bill's about it. He just didn't know how to if he threw a working punch, it looked like this.
Okay, so he had to throw a shoot punch at.
So he had to go. Look, you just be your fucking self, and we as good workers, we will fucking take the the punch the best we can, and take the spear the best you can without hurting yourself, and just. But he came wide open at everything, and it was up to you to defend yourself.
Now you were with till the end, obviously, and I mean, myself and Vinny, obviously being lifelong wrestling fans, we watched that night where Shane McMahon came out on Nitro, Vince came out on Raw. It's a legendary night. It's classic. Did the people WCW know that Shane that angle was happening, that Shane was going to come out, and they were going to work an angle with you guys, or was it like, oh, Vince bought us, and how are they going to do this? How are they going to integrate us with them? What was your feeling like when Shane came out on Nitro that night?
Well, let's back up and go. What was my feeling like when we pulled up and saw the WWF trucks?
Yeah, it must be like, fuck.
There was trucks out there when you got there.
Yeah, no shit. So
I'm asking.
It goes way, yes. To answer your question, yes, they were. And so it goes way beyond what you're saying. I mean, 2 hours before what you're saying, we're trying to figure out what's supposed to going on, and it just got uglier and uglier.
No one knew it. No one knew anything. No one had any inkling.
I'm with 10 of the smartest guys in the business, and none of them knew. And we all split off to our people that we know that would tell us what we needed to know. And it was just an ugly sight, man. I mean, it was depressing. It was ugly. He had a meeting that was about 2 minutes long saying, hey, we're going to keep some people. We're going to fire some people. We're going to keep some reps. We're going to fire some reps. We're going to keep some staff. We're going to fire some staff. Good luck. And we now own the business.
That's what Shane had this meeting.
Yep. And as long as it was, it was no longer than that.
And that's what's crazy about it is when, like I said, we talked to Justin Credible on ECW when they got bought out. They had inklings that they were going to be bought out by WWF, and they kept asking Paul Heyman, "Hey, are we getting bought out? He's like, "No, we're not. I don't know what's happening." And then they get bought out, and Paul Heyman has a job, and he kind of lied to everybody. So I didn't know if that was the case when it came to Bischoff. Maybe he knew and didn't tell nobody.
No. In our case, it was supposed to be Bischoff that was going to buy the company because Bischoff didn't go to work for Vince for a while.
Oh, that's right. It was Ted Turner, and
yeah. So he didn't go to Vince for a while. So that was a shoot. That was 100% shoot.
Okay.
On what happened with them and just not knowing, what to do and just the companies just were both just kind of lost and didn't know what to do. I mean, like we were in the room, and then of all things, we wasn't even on the first card.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned my name out of 5 names, Vince did. And I got the second biggest pop. So if you watch that batch back where Vince names 5 names to save WCW, save against the WWF, I'm one of the 5, and I got the second biggest pop, definitely.
Now, Shane McMahon walks in, gives a speech. Is everyone say he walks out, gives his 2-minute speech? Is everyone sitting there and saying, "I don't want to work for this fucking clown"? Like, kid,
everybody was digging and reaching and being quiet and not saying nothing because nobody knew for their future and their job and their history.
Yeah. Right.
So everybody was just hanging on for dear life,
I mean, if Ryan, if you want to ask Ryan, I am not the biggest Vince McMahon fan in the world, so I believe that
neither one of us really are.
Everything that he touches lately has turned to shit. I do believe that he has his. I don't want to say his boys, but he has his idea of what he thinks is going to work, and he's been following. He's been following that recipe since the 80s, and the recipe changes, right?
Yeah.
The recipe changes to the viewer, and to Vince McMahon, the recipe never changes. So now, when you're coming and it's the NWO, Vince McMahon didn't build the NWO, right? WCW built the NWO. Right. He feels a certain kind of way now. Well, fuck the NWO. I'm going to take those guys and I'm going to smash them. I'm going to bury them, and that's going to be it. I'm going to take them. I'm going to make them think that we're going to play nice, and I'm going to fucking bury them. And that's how I feel that he is.
That's exactly how he is. And it's exactly what he did to us. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it with ECW talent. I've seen it with WCW talent, and I've seen it now with NXT talent. He does it constantly. Where if Vince McMahon didn't create the product, Vince McMahon doesn't like the product. He doesn't push the product.
Exactly. You're right. That's exactly what he did. And he beat he beat me, he beat Dallas, he beat all of us and sent us
Steiner,
home.
even Scott Steiner, he put him in a main event to wrestle Triple H for the belt, and he had him buried every time. So this is the beef that I have. I've talked to this about with Ryan. He fights Triple H in main events, and he does nothing but suplexes. Everyone boos. Scott Steiner says all he's doing is suplexes. He sucks. Fuck him. Meanwhile, you got Brock Lesnar now that all he does is suplexes, and everyone fucking loves him, and he's a champ every other day. It makes no sense,
It's just a tough business, man. It really is. It's a really tough business, bro. It's hard to make it in this business, and it's really tough.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, and this is probably going to be one of my final questions because we'll get to how good you've been because I know you want to know. If you were in your prime, this is 19. I don't care what.
I already did know.
If you were Marcus Alexander Bagwell, American Male's Marcus Bagwell or Buff Bagwell, any era of your prime, who today in WWE, because I don't give a shit about AEW, I'm not a fan. In WWE, who today is Marcus Alexander Buff Bagwell? Who's the guy that you want to go one-on-one with?
One-on-one with?
Yes, like who's the guy that you say, that's the fucking guy that I'm going to start a feud with, I'm going to have a great matches with, that's him.
Randy
or
Orton.
her. I don't know. Randy
Orton.
really?
Interesting.
Why Randy Orton? He just reminds me of me, and he's cocky. He's got a good body. He's a little bit older. Not my age, but he's a little bit older. And I just think I could do some good stuff with Randy Orton.
Any of the younger talent at all, or just like Randy's a good choice. Obviously, I think you guys could have a good match. Is there anybody that's like a newer talent that maybe you wouldn't be interested in?
No, I mean, I have to think, but not really. I mean, because I don't see too many guys that come out that people stand up for. And when we used to come out, the entire crowd stood up, on the stars. And
you don't see like a Finn Balor or a Shinsuke or anybody like that that the crowd does, sing along to their theme song and get pumped when they come out.
There's a couple like that, but I mean, Randy Orton would be my pick.
If I could pick personally, I think that if there was to be a tag team or for you to manage somebody, that your personalities would work together, would be like a Dolph Ziggler to me, or now an Austin Theory.
I like him too. I think he's good too. I like him too, and the Morrison kid.
Yeah, same, or even like the Miz, same like the cocky attitude, the
characters.
The over the top, just look at me, I'm the shit, and you're gonna take. That's how I feel like.
Can we work on getting a stable created in WWE? And I don't have a lot of connections. I have a couple. A stable created that's run like Jake the Snake runs his stable and Taz runs his stable in AEW. I want to get you a stable in WWE. It's you as the main guy, and you have Austin Theory, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and who else did you say? John Morrison and The Miz. And we call it like Buff's stuff or something stupid like that. I don't know. But you're the main guy. You come out, you cut the promos.
I love it.
You do.
I'm
Buff and and the one guy in the crowd goes, the stuff. And
yeah. You're right. The one dude.
Yeah, and you got to go.
It was Vinny, by the way. That was Vinny that said that.
Yeah, we had to ask a question that somebody Terrible Wrestling Takes Bishop wanted us to ask. The swim move, right? You come out with. Yes. Did you just one day you're like, I'm just going to do some ridiculous dance, or is it something
I one day just did a ridiculous dance. When I got to the back, all the boys were like, "That's it. That's
that's the move.
whatever you just did, I said, what did I do? And they said, you did some kind of crazy ass dance and this and that and da 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 da. And I had to actually watch the tape back
to figure out what it was.
And figure out what it was and
So
do the
we were joking. We were joking that when you were picking out your wardrobe, when you turned it to Buff Bagwell, that you're swimming through the wardrobe, the racks of the wardrobe, and that's how you came up with that dance.
Or kind of looks like you were like imitating the Jeff Jarrett / Ric Flair strut, and you're like, I can't quite get it right. And
anyway, but that's it's a memorable thing though that people will like.
Every time I see a fan, they go into that fucking dance. You know, it's actually called the Buff Strut. You know,
there you go.
Vinny can not only do the Buff Strut, he can do the pose as well.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
You got to finish it off. And see, and the bigger it is,
you got to get the big arms, and then you.
And then remember, I'd always go.
Oh, yeah, he started like this, and then it went up.
And then I'd rock it, go. Woo! You know, so
Buff.
Hey,
Buff. This has been one of my favorite interviews, if not my favorite interview so far.
I absolutely loved it.
I think we've hit on a multitude of topics, from wrestling to the Gigolos thing to the hate for Kiwi and how he sucks the most amount of dick in WCW history. And
now we know. Now we know how much he sucks the most dick.
But listen, we would love to thank you. It was an amazing time. There was moments where, you know, there was a little bit of heat, but you know, we appreciate every question that you answered.
I had an absolute blast, and with me, bro, I'm so easygoing. There's nothing you can ask me that is going to make me mad or upset. I talk to you about all of it. I'm that kind of guy. You know, even through all the stuff you guys have heard, and y'all are both going to hang up and go, God, Bagwell's really a cool guy. You know, I mean, fuck. I mean,
listen.
Agreed.
I'm saying it to your. I'm saying it to your face.
There's no doubt you guys are going to hang up and have a different opinion of Buff Bagwell now.
And I will only have a different opinion of Buff Bagwell if you do one thing for us.
Okay, what?
So I'm Eric Bischoff. You say I want to do a promo. I'm saying give me 30 seconds. Cut me a Front Face Lock podcast promo as Buff Bagwell right now.
Front Face Lock?
Cut us a promo as Buff Bagwell. You're going to the WCW ring, and Bischoff says you got 30 seconds. Cut a promo for Front Face Lock podcast.
I'm Buff. I'm the stuff, and the girls just can't get enough. And there's this company out there called the Front Face Lock. Well, let me tell you something, Front Face Lock. You've got no earthly idea what it's like to have a star on your show named Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell is what created the Front Face Lock. Buff Bagwell is who is Front Face Lock. Anybody you've ever had on your show, you've never had this kind of opportunity to answer this kind of questions and get this kind of answers like you've gotten tonight from Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell tells it how it is, and Buff Bagwell tells it like it always is and always will be. And Front Face Lock can take it, or they can shove it straight up their fucking ass.
Can we get a too sweet from you?
And too sweet. NWO, black and white, or red and black, for the record.
Boom. I like it. Boom.
Who is red and black or black and white? Who's your pick?
I gotta go black and white, man. It's just the original.
That's right. Sounds good. Hey, Buff, It was great having you. You're awesome.
Hey guys, I love you guys so much, and thanks for being so cool. And y'all had great questions. And
before we leave, though, let everybody know where they can find you, maybe on social media or what you're doing.
Definitely. On Twitter, it's Mark Buff Bagwell on Twitter. It's Marcus Buff Bagwell on everything else. It's Marcus Buff Bagwell's on MarcusBuffBagwell.com is my website. Marcus Buff Bagwell is my Facebook. Marcus Buff Bagwell is my Instagram. But for some reason, Twitter wouldn't allow that many letters. That's why it's Mark Buff Bagwell on that. But if you go to MarcusBuffBagwell.com, it will get you to anywhere you want to go into my world of Instagram, social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. It'll take you to all of it. So go to MarcusBuffBagwell.com.
Nice. You selling any merchandise anywhere or on the website?
It's all over. It's all over MarcusBuffBagwell.com. I've got every single 8x10 for sale on there that I've ever taken. There's like 50 8x10s on there.
Okay.
We want shirts.
I got shirts coming up now. I've got a lot of. I got one that says "I will beat your fucking brains out."
Nice.
I want that one. Send me 2X and I will send you money.
I always say that. I always tell people, I go, look. I say, you fuck with me, I'll beat your fucking brains out.
Buff, I will send you money on Venmo. You send me that shirt. Give me 2X because I'm a fat guy, bitch. But let me ask you a question for our three or four female listeners. Can they still hire you as a gigolo?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Let them know. Hey, if you're ever in New Jersey, let us know. We'll come check you out, hang out, and do.
Hey, dude, absolutely, dude.
We'll get a ride though. You're not driving anywhere though.
No.
Yeah, we're Uber that shit.
I remember I called my dad and I said, I'm getting my license back, and my dad goes, son, you're never fucking driving again. And I go, well, I'm just telling you, they called me and told me I could go get my license. He goes, son,
no,
you're not getting your fucking license back.
I
went down, got my license, took the picture, and came home and showed my dad, and he went,
fuck.
I just don't fucking get it. Why they would ever let you drive again.
Is your mother still alive?
She is, and she's going through a real hard case with dementia, so she's not.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that, but please tell her Ryan from the Front Face Live podcast is a diehard fan of hers, and and the shirt that she wore when she came out at I think it was Bastion's Beach, where she had your picture and somebody else's picture. We used it for one of our episodes. We photoshopped our face on her boobs because that was where the faces were. Tell her I'm going to get that shirt photoshopped in her honor. I love her very much. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, dude, that'll make her day. And thank you so much for being so cool, man. Both of you guys are just.
Thank you.
Man, I'd love to do this for you again. Just let me know. We'll do it again, dude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely hook up again in the future.
Do some more shit, cause some more drama. We'll have you right back the next
time. Oh, dude, you know me. Just give me a
listen.
As soon as we hang up, something's gonna happen.
So we'll have you on next week, I guess.
Take care of yourself. Let us know how the rehab goes with the knee, and let us know when you're gonna be getting back in the ring or doing any appearances. Let us know, definitely, and we'll plug it.
I definitely will. And you guys were absolutely superb. You had great questions, and y'all were great on your behalves. And Vinny and is it Ryan?
Yep.
Yes, it's Ryan.
Vinny and Ryan.
I'm the one that's been fucking talking to you for 2 weeks.
But still, I just couldn't see. That's why I didn't want to fuck up your name. I thought maybe Brian.
You don't fucking save my number in your phone.
I'm not good at that. I'm really not.
That's why you're a mid-Carter buff.
You know what? That was a good line, by the way. But to be honest with you,
save his number. Listen, save his number under fucking Kiwi Part 2.
Look, to show you, can you see that you're at the top of the list right there?
I fucking better be at the top of the list.
Can you really see it honestly?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, yes. So right there, Ryan Podcast.
Nice.
So awesome. Your last name is Podcast.
That's all that you need to know.
Hey, baby, that's it. I love you guys so much. You guys are spectacular.
Thank you too. Go Georgia Bulldogs.
It was awesome having you.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much.
All right, take it easy. Have a great night.
Give us one. Give us one.
Boom. And boom.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, guys. All right.
Take it easy.
Have a good night.
Love you, man. Love
you
guys.
Too.
I gotta piss so fucking bad. All right, so anybody who's still here, I don't know if Justin, Clark Street, any of you guys who are still here, Marcus, I'm very happy we live stream this, and I'll wait till Vinny gets back to emphasize my point. I don't know if anybody listened to the beginning of this interview. He didn't answer one fucking question. I'm waiting for Vinny to come back to clarify this.
I'm coming, boss. I'm coming, boss man.
I was just saying to anybody who's still here, because we still have a bunch of people in here, and anybody who wants to join us for a recap.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that if anybody wants to join in real quick for a recap / reaction, would be awesome.
I'm gonna send this to some of our friends on Twitter. He didn't answer one fucking question the first 20 minutes of our fucking thing. Marcus, You're getting one. Don't worry. I'm sending it to a couple people right now.
I will tell you, it was a fucking good. I enjoyed myself.
It was a great time. It was a great interview.
Yeah. Everyone that we do, I feel it gets better and better. Like, it really, to me, feels like, I don't know if it's just that we're more comfortable interviewing people or if it's that the guests are better. I'm not even sure or a combination.
I don't know, but I sent the link to everybody who's still here. Marcus, you got one. Justin, Bishop, and Clark Street, if you're still here. The first 20 fucking minutes, I asked him how he felt about the NWO getting watered down, and all I heard about was how he fucking picked out his outfit with Scotty Riggs. He was awesome.
The white
he was awesome. He was awesome. I had a great time. That was a fucking great interview. This part is going to be cut out from the actual interview part when we release it on Anchor.fm. But this is the post interview now.
Yes, this was pretty fucking fantastic.
Marcus Bebe is here.
Marcus, bye. What's up, Marcus? Bye.
Fuck the Astros and fuck the Braves. So I hope that they tie. I'm just saying, fuck both the teams in the World Series.
Marquise, baby.
What's up, Marquise, baby?
Did Altuve hit a home run tonight? Because I need him to get the most home runs in the series for me to win a bet.
I think he's won. He already hit one, but I think he's got like a couple more.
Okay. Anyway, what'd you think, Marcus?
It was good. I was laughing at him.
Yeah,
he was so fucked up.
Oh, especially at the beginning.
I'm about to be fucked up too. I'm on Crawford Bot tonight.
I never even heard that.
That's some dark
shit. I drank 4 of the Austin IPAs during the interview, and I'm on PBR now. So, and I still wasn't as fucked up as Buff Bagwell was at the beginning of the interview.
Well, I'm on 2 for 1 tonight. These are the 2 for 1 cups you get at the games, and I'm pretending I'm at the game.
Did you like the attire?
Yeah, you look like a magician.
I looked more like Buff Bagwell than Buff Bagwell did.
Yeah.
Well,
you really did.
If you didn't see our last episode, you're gonna hate me 10 times more when you watch Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'm gonna be something y'all gonna.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Wait, Marcus, you're gonna be someone motherfucker that what?
You're gonna be somebody. I'm gonna be somebody y'all hate so fucking much.
Queewee?
No.
Queewee?
Probably won't.
Arn Anderson?
No. Hell no, I'm not that fat.
Who the fuck else do we hate?
Y'all hate a lot, but I'll let y'all figure that out when Saturday comes.
Fucking who's the rhyming? Lanny Poffo?
The genius?
Who the fuck else do we hate?
No.
Everybody. We hate everybody.
Well, if y'all hate everybody, I'll give y'all time to figure it out. I'm just saying, I'm dying to see y'all reaction when y'all see what I'm going to dress up as Saturday.
Marcus, do you know Bishop, by the way, from Terrible Wrestling?
No,
Terrible
sir.
what?
Terrible Wrestling Takes.
All right, it cut out and you said terrible racist. That's definitely not the show. What's up, Marcus?
No, it's Terrible Wrestling Takes.
I'm all right. How are you,
your shirt is very soft, as good as toilet paper.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yours is great as a cum rag.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else here. Oh, Justin's here as well.
What's up?
Justin.
What up?
This is the post-Buff Bagwell session.
Fantastic.
How fucked up was he?
Oh my god! I said it as soon as he popped up. I'm like, oh my god, he is fucking just obliviated right now. But I started laughing the whole entire time.
Half the reason I had to keep sunglasses on because my eyes were like.
I saved $300 watching that. I'm like, oh my God.
No, $300. Okay, first of all, you negotiate with the guy. I offered him $100, and he said yes. And we threw him an extra $50, and I'm okay with opening about this. I gave him $150 because he cut promos for us.
Without us asking him to, he just did it.
Yeah. He just fucking did it. He's like, I'm going to cut promos for you. He sent me 3, and he's fucking crazy in those. He's like, we're going to talk with the host. We're going to talk with Vinny and the host, Vinny and Ryan, and we're off the chain and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, off the chain.
So I'm like, fuck it. Send this guy an extra $50 because he needs it. So, Marcus, he's negotiating.
Was he in a fucking hotel?
Look, I thought he was at his house.
It looked like some freaking like.
He was I called him. So we were supposed to do it last week, and some shit came up. We didn't do it, and we did it this week. But every time I called him up until tonight was the first time his manager answered the phone when I called him. But every other time he answered,
that's trouble.
When he called me, I didn't know if he sounded high or he sounded like he just woke up.
Well, I was thrown off the first time. I was thrown off the first time because he answered the phone like in a half a ring, like it's a fucking promoter saying, "Hey, we want to book you for something." But he calls himself Buff.
He answered the phone.
Yeah, I'll do it, whatever it is. But he calls himself Buff, and he threw me off because I'm on the phone like driving, and I'm like, "Hey, Buff, what's up?" And he goes, "Do you want to have Buff on your show?" And I'm like, Yeah, I do. I do want to have you on your show. He's like, well, I do $300. I'm like, well, that's absurd. I'm not paying that. And he's like, I'm like, we've had Justin Credible, we've had Brian Clark, and we've had. He was like, were any of them in the NWO? Buff was in the NWO, and I'm like, he's like, do you think they're bigger stars? I'm like, yeah, I do.
And then his manager was like, oh, I listened to one of the episodes. It seems like one of you guys don't like him. And Ryan's like, no, both of us don't like him.
yeah, we're not fans. I'm a fan of him now. I'm going to say, honestly say I'm a fan of him now.
I feel so bad for him. That's all I could do is just feel bad for him. He's like 20%. The R word. Like he's just not there. Like in anything that you've ever listened, like I don't know if you've listened to like his Stone Cold interviews or others where it's like, oh, I grew up as a meathead. My parents had all the money and then they didn't have money, and then I'm still a meathead. Oh, I can wrestle because I have a body and a good looking face. Like he's never been there, but now, and it's weird, right? Because he seems jaded about his star power, but he was always respectful enough that he wasn't Hogan, but he treated people like Kiwi that he was Hogan. It's really fucking weird, man. So he was like a big enough dick to not be liked by anyone below him, but a nice enough guy to not be hated by anyone above him.
Yeah, good point. I didn't understand where he went from being that, $2 million a year in the 70s is like probably like $20 million now or more, and it went from having all that money to zero money in no time. And then he's like, oh, I had Buff Bagwell Inc. And I'm like, what the fuck is he even talking about?
The first
we weren't even wrestling yet.
One question.
He's like, I 1099 the fuck out of him. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm like, why'd you get into wrestling? He's like, I 1099 my family. It's like, what? Like, you were Buff in 1991. How did you Buff Inc. them?
By the way, don't ever call Buff Bagwell a mid-carder.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I laughed hysterically.
Yeah, it was fucking wonderful.
I was like, he's like, but, I'm not upset by it. Like, obviously you are.
Hey, obviously you are fucking upset by it. And he was a fucking mid-carder. I'm sorry.
We didn't mean mid-carder, like what position. Like, okay, we get mid-carders, like what position you are in the pay-per-view or in being televised. But obviously what we mean is you're not championship material. You were never wrestling for the belt, maybe once or twice. But,
Scott Hall's the greatest mid-carder of all time.
Yeah.
It's not an insult.
Fucking hey yo.
When you mentioned Vader getting with Too Cold Scorpio, I was just about to be like, it's Vader time.
Yes.
You should have. I want to let you guys know I am living the gimmick though. It's after show. I'm in my PJs. So that day that you wanted me to hop on, I figure I'll hop on in the PJs.
Nice.
There you go.
You couldn't do that before, though. You had to do that now, though.
Yeah. Because it's 11, not 1 in the morning.
I do rock the pink TWT wrestling shirt you gave me. And I've gone to the liquor store wearing it. And, pink's my favorite color. Yeah, I see it right there. And the girls at the liquor store know me because I'm there 3-4 times a week. And they go, a day. And they go, oh, that's a very bright shirt. What does the TWT mean? I'm like, it means it's the podcast that I listen to. And they go, oh, that's cool. You like podcasts? And I'm like, no, because I didn't want to get into a conversation with this fucking girl about them going, oh, I listen to true crime podcasts. And can you believe Brian Law is still alive? Like, fuck you. Like, I knew. So I didn't want to get into it. But yes, I do rock the pink one all the time.
My guy.
The white.
I've worn yours a couple times.
The white one's great for toilet paper. I will say that. And the shit comes right out of it. So I don't know what.
He doesn't even have to fucking dampen it at all. Just super absorbent.
I'm still waiting for a World Elite shirt. I'm just saying.
Go to ProWrestlingTees.com. We got choices.
Time out. Now I want to move on a little bit from Buff Bagwell. We had an incident today.
I guess you can give me some propositions. We're coming up with another shirt. We want to do one in Survivor Series font. I need y'all to pick which Survivor Series font. The one from the 80s, the one from the 90s.
80s, obviously.
The one with the loop. The one with the loop.
You made fucking Bishop walk off the show with that fucking question.
It's like,
No,
I want to
definitely
do
do
a
the 80s.
Survivor Series show. Bishop's like, fuck it, I don't even care about this anymore.
Bishop is like, I hate font choices. I'm out.
Font choices is where I draw the line.
The line right
Look
to
at my
PWT. That's it.
Marcus, I'm saying
I don't know
go
what
with
the font.
go
I
with
don't.
the
I don't know what the fonts are. So you'd have to like show me.
I'll send them for in a sec.
I don't like
I'll-
Cajun fonts.
80s. Oh!
You wouldn't be able to read it anyway, so nobody likes the Cajun fonts.
Good God.
Can't read it.
No, I'm a late '80s Survivor Series guy. What's that? The tumbled rock looking style.
It's like a loop. Look like the
Yeah.
Survivor's like a loop.
It's like a circle.
It's a circle.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like a circle.
It's a circle.
So, did you see this fucking guy, Don? What Don Tony T? What the fuck, Don Tony? What?
Tony Don D, whatever the fuck his name was.
That fucking
The
jerk
fucking
off.
guy- Brian Clark, our best friend in the whole world, posted something about vets first. Sergeant Slaughter and I are vets, and somebody posted. Vinny said something like, "Did he really serve?" And I found 4 sites. If you Google, "Did Sergeant Slaughter actually serve in the military?" The first 4 sites are, "No, he didn't."
And it said fuck no and fuck no. It's pretty much
Yeah. And Vinny goes, and I post them, and Vinny's like, "No, he didn't." But Vinny's obviously a veteran, and it's like, I've never literally thanked Vinny for his service ever because I don't. But
Well,
he fucking did it, and it's fucking amazing. And this guy's like got pissed off and blocked us,
well, no, well,
and then unblocked us.
well, how it went was I was like, I'm pretty certain he didn't serve. This motherfucker's like, he's a national treasure. He's been serving the country for decades, and any veteran that I know, and my family is veterans. Any veteran that I know knows that service extends outside the battlefield, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, what? Listen, I'm not taking away from him being philanthropic or whatever, however you pronounce that word, but 60% of his career was him being the bad guy who was in the military, who's a fucking traitor, number one. Number two, if he was doing all that great stuff, good. But I think serving your country as a professional wrestler and then serving your country overseas in a war are completely 2 different things. I don't know. But I'm just saying the fact that this guy got so upset, and I was trying to say, like, listen, I don't care what he does, like, if he's a gimmick and that's his gimmick as being a Marine, but don't claim that you're an actual Marine, which he has apparently, when you're not, and people have been there and died doing it. I go, that's the only thing I have a problem with. And he went fucking apeshit. And then he questioned my service, and then he was like, oh, I was in basic training, but I didn't finish, but I got an honorable discharge, and all this nonsense. And it just went off the rails. And then he claimed I photoshopped a DM to him.
Vinny sends me a DM like, "Hey, you sent something and you deleted it. What did you say?" And then he followed up, like, "Oh, that's what I thought." And Vinny posted. I said, "Vinny, post that." And the guy goes, he posts a video of him like going through his messages, going, "I can't find your message. I don't see it anywhere." And then
I guess that, and obviously, and he's like, obviously, you can't delete messages on Twitter, which you can, but he's like, so anyway, he goes like, how many after we? So, long story short, he blocked us both.
Too late.
Then we went on other accounts and started blasting him on other accounts.
They have 12,000 accounts, by the way.
And then we went on YouTube.
I do.
And then we went on YouTube and blasted his YouTube video, like a fucking about 10 comments on his YouTube video. So I guess he got the hint and he apologized.
We don't lose arguments. Marcus knows this, and we love Marcus now.
Well,
we don't lose arguments.
They're like,
Fuck you, Bishop.
they're like Freddy Krueger. They just keep coming. They're like Freddy Krueger.
It will never end.
The Biggie comment, I'll give you that one. All right, you were right about that one. That was about it. But other than that, we don't lose arguments. All right.
They're like,
You want it? Do you want it?
Never go
you
away.
want me to release the DMs between us?
No. What? That I should re-record our anger promo? Yeah, I should.
No,
but
before that, when you lost the complete
No.
argument with me, when you thought I actually came on your shirt. As soon as you asked if I came on a shirt.
You get the shirt, you're like, it's a great tag with a big thumbs up and a big white water. And Vinny's like, did he fucking jerk off on our shirt? I'm like, I don't know.
Is he really mad at us? Is he really mad at us?
Is he mad at us?
Is he taking this for real?
It's possible. I mean, you look like a sensitive fucking vagina, so I mean, it's possible.
Right here. I mean, look at that. I got lips. It's red in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what kind of fucking bleeding pussy you're fucking, but mine's pink in the middle.
I see the pussy you're fucking right behind you.
It's a good fucking tight one too.
Is that the one is that the one that shit in your pants? By the way, is that the one that shit in your pants?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that story about him, the cat shit in his pants.
That cat's a fucking icon.
Look, here you go. You want some of that? Want some of that? Just take a lick, bro.
I ate pussy live on the set.
So we got 1, 2, 2.5 podcast. Justin, are you actually on Bishop's show? I never hear you on there. No, you're just a really cool guy.
He's done 4 of my last 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah,
because he's the fucking man.
No, Justin's awesome. I love Justin.
He keeps trying to tell me to start a show, and I'm debating on it at this point.
Justin, you and I are encyclopedias of wrestling. We should fucking do it. I have to ask you a question, though, and I have to ask everybody here a question because I did not watch it because I was working. Vinny's going to answer it in a bad way because, Vinny fucking hates everything. He's angry all the time.
Not as much as Buff Bagwell hates fucking Kiwi.
Okay, that was off the chain.
How fucking strange is it that he's pissed at fucking Kiwi, but fucking Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops just did a fucking interview with Kiwi?
That's what I brought up.
Yeah, that's what he brought up.
And it's like, Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops. I said Kiwi. He goes, fucking faggot. Like, I didn't even get the fucking question out of my mouth. But
he was alert then.
Yeah. Did anybody watch Halloween Havoc last night? I did not watch it.
Fucking sucked. 1.5
what
out
Penny
of 5.
says.
Yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't give Breaker the Muppet the fucking title.
Did Breaker win? He didn't win.
No, Tommaso beat him.
Okay.
Hey, he pulled his Uncle Scott Steiner. He fucking slipped off the turnbuckle pad.
Yeah, that was hysterical.
Did it break?
There ain't no way he faked that. He literally.
I saw what you did there.
I see what you did there.
I'm not doing because of its breaker. I'm just talking about the fucking bullshit ending of Extreme Rules that I'm never ever gonna get over.
Never getting over.
And then
it's forever a wrestling mystery now.
Baby Uso made his debut last night. The Uso's younger brother.
I heard about that.
Looked like Jey Uso with blonde hair. And baby, the best part of last night, Mandy Rose won the fucking title.
She looks so much better now with brown hair.
Gigi Dolan is the best part of last night. By far.
Gigi Dolan's fucking awesome. And the fact that she dated fucking Darby Allin, and were they married?
They were married.
Yeah, they were married.
Until she found out that he liked men.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh wait, you're the guy I married? Fuck you."
Wait, you like old men with makeup?
Yeah, her excuse for that was literally just we're starting to grow apart, so we split up. And I'm like, all right.
Starting to grow apart.
Yeah,
hey, he started sucking an old guy with makeup's dick. So I don't want to see this
his penis parted her vagina and went to Sting's asshole.
That's what Sting means when he says it's showtime.
Exactly.
You think if Manny and Darby ever made love and he's like, "Babe, how did I do?" and she just look at him like, "Well, you were half ass," because he's like half human. Technically,
who's half
Darby because he paints half his body because he says half of him is dead.
I don't care about that statement because that was dumb. The fact that you called that making love, you're like, they're going to make love. Like you're writing a fucking romance novel, Marcus, like, or Marquise.
That fucking
like,
Fabio's on the cover of.
Sounds like a Tim Burton movie.
Listen,
Tim Burton's good.
Right.
He
So
is.
I'm gonna ask a blanket question here for everybody. So Ryan claims that Vince McMahon isn't in charge of NXT.
No, it's every article I've read. It says he's
Isn't
not in
in
charge
charge-
of day-to-day operations.
Who cares?
Okay. Isn't in charge of day-to-day operations except writing and gimmicks and production and everything else. How bad has NXT gone from NXT to NXT 2.0 in everyone's opinion? Me, I can't fucking even watch it. And I used to say it was the best brand that was out there.
Listen to my fucking show and you'll know.
I don't watch that living color bullshit.
It's just, I saw it. You love it? Love it?
Love it. Love it.
Who's your favorite?
I only watched it to
You.
see how
I've been
bad.
50-50 on it. There's days I enjoy it and there's days I hate it.
I want-
No, look, it's exactly what it was meant to be when everyone calls it developmental and all that shit. It's just not what it used to be. What it used to be was AEW done better. And now it's back to what it should have been, which is developmental. You could even see it last night when Toxic Attraction wins the tag team titles. Gigi's actually telling JC how to hold the title on top of the ladder. Like they're actively coaching all night long, trying to make better stars. If you watch it that way, it's better than you think it is because it's not a complete product. It was never meant to be. So when they did this reset, they did it attaching old and new together, and then you watch them grow. If you don't watch it that way, it's gonna suck. And I'll admit that.
I can kind of respect how you put it that way.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that
what I do, man.
a terrible wrestling take for the first time ever. Listen, if you're looking at it that way, I understand. If that's the case, though, the gimmick storylines and the backstage vignettes need to end because they're fucking horrible. There's no reason that somebody that are veterans like Dexter Loomis and Johnny Gargano should be fucking monitoring a haunted house. It was fucking terrible. And then the other guy, the British guy walking around saying that the Asians are foreigners and foreigners are weird. And there's a costume party. It's just, ugh.
Kid.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from, all right, there's new wrestlers and everyone's coaching them through it, then you kind of have to make it known to the audience that that's what we're doing. Because if I'm just a casual wrestling fan and I tune into NXT 2.0 and I see this, hey, now hold the belt up this way so everyone can see it, I'm going to be like, what the fuck is this? To me, it would be a joke. Like, it'd be like, if you're telling you, oh, this is what they're doing, and this is like the behind the scenes of how you're going to create stars, okay, then I could get that. I could get down with that.
What do y'all think of Ring of Honor's scenario right now?
I've never watched Ring of Honor. I couldn't tell you aside from,
Ring of Honor doesn't make themselves accessible to people, and that's their fucking issue, really.
But did you hear about they're shutting down at the end of the year?
Yeah, they say they're using it as a period to refresh themselves.
That sounds like
The thing is, if they released everybody, who's actually coming back at this point?
I'm going to tell you what happened. Buff Bagwell bought the company in 1099. That's what happened.
No, it looked obvious. I don't know. I read it and I go, okay, they paid everybody not to wrestle. Now they're not going to pay people not to wrestle and try to get back by April. I don't think it's that big a deal. But I see all these RIP, ROHs, and oh my God, I hope everyone's okay. They just got paid not to wrestle for the longest time. And now they're going to try to do another pay-per-view they're going to do December, and then from December to April, 4 fucking months, they're going to try to get it together. I don't see what the big deal is.
I saw a bunch of people fucking talking about that AEW was the reason why, MLW and ROH and all those other freaking companies are like not able to succeed and all that shit. And I'm like, no, those companies have their own issues and they put that on themselves, and that's just their thing with it. Like, you can't just point the finger at AEW because, oh, they're the bigger company, so let's just point the finger at them because they're the ones struggling. They've been they put themselves in that position for years, and now they're just trying to dig themselves out, and it's not working anyway. So,
yeah.
What'd y'all think?
God.
What'd y'all think of AEW tonight? Or y'all didn't watch it?
Well, we were kind of busy.
Well, we were busy, yeah.
Well,
I was multitasking. It was kind of.
I watched Chucky and then Ted Lasso.
Well, if you look on Twitter,
How
the
is
main
Chucky?
event.
Well, Adam Page
is
fucking
a dope shit.
Matt Jackson dressed as a Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Yeah, the main event was an 8-man tag. They all dressed. The Elite dressed up as the Ghostbusters. They assumed Brandon Cutler was the Marshmallow Monster, but he wasn't. Dark Order, Evil Uno dressed up as a cowboy. John Silver dressed up as Bambi. Stu Grayson dressed like Kratos from God of War. And Colt Cabana dressed up as Brandon Cutler with the fucking jumpsuit and the mask and the fucking spray.
So they had 2 Kratos costumes in the past 2 days.
Yeah. If you count Braun Strowman from was it a year ago or 2 years ago? In the last 3 years. No, they had one member dressed up as a fucking horse that Evil Uno rode on. They thought that was fucking 5 or something. No, they kidnapped Brandon
Arn Anderson?
You suck. I mean,
was he Ubering me to the airport for my second lunch?
No, Cody was trying to not turn heel, and Arn's just standing there not doing shit till Andrade and his buddy came out and beat the shit out of both of them. And then
that shit was so stupid. They're trying to pull that whole bullshit of like, oh, Cody went Hollywood. That's why everyone hates him. Go fuck yourself, Cody.
I'm going. Well, he wants.
What did he go Hollywood? What is he fucking starring in?
Well, he's got a reality show with his fucking wife on BET or something,
and it was on some game show. Go Big Show?
It's not on fucking USA. What's it on TBS? I don't even know.
No, it's on USA. It's on.
No, not Miz. The fucking Cody Rhodes and his wife show.
Rhodes to the top on TNT. And then they watched
from the open to the commercial, and in it, Cody's like, "I got to raise up these young talents." I told Agogo on the fly to kick over the scale, and he's trying to be compassionate. And then they show him talking shit on Agogo to other wrestlers, and then Brandy's talking about taking maternity leave and going, "Oh my God, I hope people don't forget me." Yeah. You guys literally write the show, and you're on every fucking segment possible. Nobody's gonna forget you. You guys are the reason this company exists, and you always put yourselves out front.
And
it was so.
See Brandy Rhodes.
What's it? Fucking awesome. It was just fucking fuck. I lost the word for it, but it's blatant that they don't get it. That they just don't get it.
And he had a game show.
Someone needs to tell.
The Go Big Show.
Someone needs
on
to
USA.
All the Rhodes or Runnels or whatever the fuck their last name really is. All those family members. Listen, we appreciate everything you've done for the business, but you were never fucking fantastic. There's nothing that ever stood out where you're like, wow, that Dusty Rhodes match fucking really got me going. You know, or that Gold Dust match was super memorable. And the only one that
time you won the fucking bunkhouse brawl, Dusty. That was the fucking best one when you fucking won.
Remember when you took off your cowboy boot? Like, remember when you're, I mean, yes, we appreciate everything they've done, but let's get over ourselves. Secondly, there's 2 things I want to talk about real quick. Braun Strowman didn't appear on.
Don't say real quick ever. That's a lie, and you know it's a fucking lie.
Braun Strowman didn't appear on Impact, so I had a theory. That WWE re-signs him. He comes back and fucking destroys Roman Reigns at some point. What do you guys think?
I mean, why not bring back Strowman? I don't see an issue with it.
Did you see Bray Wyatt tweeted 2 more days?
Did he?
Yeah, so either he appears on SmackDown, or he shows up on fucking Rampage.
No, they taping Rampage right now, so it really he couldn't show up today.
Fucking Bray Wyatt does not fit in fucking AEW. I'm sorry.
No.
And that brings me to a question for all you guys: does anybody give a shit that CM Punk's back anymore?
I do.
Still don't.
No.
I mean, great, re-emergence, like his re-premiere in AEW was amazing. I watched it. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it's been what, a month and a half, 2 months, whatever. And do you give a shit anymore? Like who?
I mean, it's the same thing with Ed.
I didn't give a shit to start with. They're just trying to give him as many fucking wins to get him to the world title as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Ed.
How was that Bobby Fish match?
It was all right. He won, of course. They kicked off the show.
Is Kyle O'Reilly still in NXT?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's a jobber now.
He shouldn't be.
But
He's
like-
fucking one of the.
With that Bruno Mars fucking fedora. Looking like a lost boy.
Oh, so my second question is: has anyone been following the Charlotte Flair news all the way from the Nia Jax?
Man, fuck her. I'm done with that bitch. I don't want her ass in AEW.
The Nia Jax match
I got
all
a
the way
new.
to the last-
I got a new name for y'all to give her on y'all next show when y'all talk shit about her. Call her Charlotte Cher.
Yeah, she did look like there.
She
Call
was
her a
when she
robot
first
for a
came.
reason.
Yeah, when she first came out, she still had the mole on her chin, and she was like no work done. It was like, oh, she's kind of cute, like it's Charlotte Flair. She's not bad looking. Now it's like, who the fuck is this fucking robot looking fucking android piece of shit?
She's a fucking
Cunt.
android when she speaks. Listen
Give
to
her
her
a-
talk.
Yeah.
Give her
My
a mic.
God.
Give her
I
a
literally
microphone.
compared her to a fucking speaking spell.
You
Give
say,
her a-
Yes,
I beat
Yes.
them in the record amount of time.
Give her a microphone. Give her a microphone. She'll probably sing just like Jesse James next.
He fucking
Yeah.
blows.
God.
He's not even that good. Like they hyped her up so much. Wow, you could do a fucking moonsault. Congratulations. Everything else you do sucks. You can't sell.
She's
You
so
can't-
dangerous on the moonsault. No one
Yes.
can catch her.
No.
And she says
Yeah.
that she's not turning into Ric Flair. I'm so not a raper. Technically, you are.
you
Well,
like
we don't
that?
know
You
that.
like that one?
I
We don't know.
I almost knocked the truck out of gear. I was laughing so fucking hard.
I don't know if you guys know this, but we don't actually have sound clips. We just have Marcus on standby doing all of the.
Mark,
Oh,
I
fuck.
send
I
all
gotta
the
see-
episodes to Marcus, and he
Wait.
just puts the sound clip in where he thinks it should go.
I got a bonus coming in tomorrow. We might not talk about Crown Jewel, but if we do, only thing I have to mention, fucking Matt Riddle on that fucking camel, and you're gonna hear that clip from Freddie Got Fingered. That's a fucking camel.
That's fucking Charlotte Flair.
That's good. That's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't
I'll
watch
even-
Crown
Yeah.
Jewel, and I didn't watch
I didn't
Crown
watch
Jewel.
it.
I didn't realize it was. It was
Crown
at
Jewel
like
was
9
great.
o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Thursday. Who the fuck?
Crown Jewel's pretty good, except I think they botched the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah, that finish was disappointing. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says.
But
They
who
could have
the fuck
done-
watches a pay-per-view at like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday.
They could have
West
done
Coast?
that. They could have done that finish a couple different ways
West
to make
Coast.
to make it just as intriguing, I guess, and or convoluted that they didn't have to do it like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns don't need a championship belt to win to knock the other
But
person out.
how many times are they going to do a controversial ending with those two? Remember when
They're gonna do it for
Roman Reigns
WrestleMania.
speared- Yeah, but
I was
remember
there.
when Roman Reigns speared Lesnar out of the cage, and technically
Yes,
Brock
Lesnar
was
actually-
hurt?
Yeah, he actually won. Right.
Yeah, but it's like, how many times are you gonna fucking have a controversial ending? Just fucking let one of you guys win. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
I
happen.
didn't even watch it. I was sitting in my office watching reruns of Nightmare on Elm Street instead of watching Crown Jewel.
Yo, Vince McMahon likes to, say no big star like Lesnar or Roman Reigns is ever going to lose steam by losing cleanly. They're not somebody who needs to be established. So you don't need to protect them. They're protected. Those guys are in the upper stratosphere. They're protected. They can lose 1,000 times, and they're still going to be Brock Lesnar. They're still going to be.
And that's something they should do with Brock, because the last couple times Brock has actually lost, it had to be in the power move triple run, right? It's got to be spear, or claymore.
Yeah.
If they did it in a way like, because the actual match was awesome. But
Yeah,
it was so fucking good. I don't mind the convoluted ending only because it maintains more hype for the next match, just because this story felt different because Paul Heyman interjected himself more, stuff like that, the nuance. But I hear you. In in a situation where you have this Roman character doing something that nobody saw coming, actually has support. If he just demolished Brock Lesnar in the same, 10, 12 minutes instead of 3 minutes, I think we're talking about something completely different right now. But make the guy who looks like a fucking cyborg look strong. It's weird.
Look at there's two different ways you could approach it. So you could have Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar clean, just fucking outright beat him, and him get on Raw the next day and say, or even a month down the line, and be like, look, I fucking went through everybody. I went through Brock Lesnar. I went through Drew McIntyre. I went through this one. I went through this one. No one could fucking beat me. There's not one person that could beat me, blah, 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 blah. And either, like I said, Strowman's fucking music hits, even though, we forget about 3 years that they fought each other, or you have The Rock, or you have somebody brand new that he hasn't faced, and then you'd be like, oh, shit. And then they just go to town.
They're postponing the Rock feud until they go to Hollywood for that WrestleMania.
I don't think that's ever going to happen, though. I really don't at this point.
I think there's a better chance it doesn't happen than it happens.
Because you have to make The Rock
if The Rock going to win and what's he going to do? He's not going to defend the title if The
He'll
Rock
vacate
wins.
the title.
I don't think they can hold off that feud that long.
What do you think of The Rock's little song you did with Tech Nine?
Wasn't good.
It was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
I don't know what that is.
He did a rap.
He did a rap song. He was the last verse on the song.
Secondly,
I don't know what Tech Nine is.
you guys watched the Extreme Rules.
No,
That was the point at any time. If you're going to take the belt off of Roman Reigns with the Fiend coming out, that match was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
When he fucking drop kicked him through the table, I was like, oh shit, this is it. I'm into it. And then they did that botch ending. You're like, dude, what the fuck? You could have had him beat him that night and then him come out and challenge Finn Balor the next day and beat him and win the title back.
That would have been the perfect.
You could have booked it where you could have made the next Undertaker.
That would have been
the only
perfect
ending. The only description I came up for that ending was the most hokey fucking anime bullshit. You'd have to suspend your disbelief bullshit. And I was like,
because the ropes broken. It was like boy, it was like
somebody cut it.
cartoon thing.
There's a video where someone cut it.
Somebody actually cut the ropes.
Yeah. Somebody caught it on video.
You want me to believe
They thought it was Naomi too. No, hell no, that bitch ain't that fucking skinny.
You want me to believe that fucking Braun Strowman can stand on top of the top turnbuckle, but 160-pound Finn Balor,
190.
Yeah, whatever. The weight
They
beneath
don't
that.
want you to believe Braun Strowman can do it. That's why they released him.
That's true. That guy.
Braun Strowman can superplex the Big Show, destroy the ring, but all the ropes are still intact.
Oh,
yeah.
But Finn Balor, 190 pounds.
Last comment I have to make. Why?
No.
Why? Because he said it. Why? He said it. Is Keith Lee now called Bearcat Lee?
Oh God, no!
Because he hates first names. You know this, or he hates two names.
Or hates two names. So Bearcat is the best.
He has a middle name.
But the announcers still call him Keith Lee. That's the thing. The announcers still call him Keith Lee.
I would rather call him the Bearcat Keith Lee, but Bearcat Lee, he's gonna go down quicker than fucking Hit Row. Hit Row will be fucking catering in 2 months.
Hit Row's awesome. They should be right to the top.
Yeah, they tanked Keith Lee. He's just generic big man now, and it's sad.
I know. They run him good. But no, Ryan, your little clip bullshit. Was that from Aliens or that was from another movie?
No,
bullshit.
That's from High Fidelity. That's Jack Black when the other guy says that he likes the Everly Brothers better, and he goes, bullshit!
There's one I remember. It was
like Sir Topham Hatt from Shining Time Station dancing.
Can I just mention one thing can I mention one thing about Bagwell said that I don't know if you watched the video, I kind of go, he goes, when I was Marcus Alexander Bagwell, if you had a beard and sunglasses, you were a heel. It's like, Macho Man, Hogan, Warrior, like really,
Marquise.
Yeah, but the renegade,
What about when he
the
said?
disciple.
What about when he said
yeah, all those guys.
that he wasn't fucked up? Like,
Yeah,
X-Pac.
we weren't on 2 seconds down a shot of fucking whatever.
He goes like this. He goes, all those times I drove, I was just like I am now. I wasn't drunk, and I'm like, oh boy, okay.
Why'd you
That's
have to bring up
GHB.
X-Pac? Why'd you have to bring up X-Pac? Because now I think about is Vinny talking about fucking X-Pac ripping his ass and Ryan being
Ripping
fucking
his
dumbfounded
anus
about asshole surgery.
It happened twice.
It's called sphincterplasty.
You were dumbfounded though because he said fucking butthole surgery, and you were like dumbfounded by that.
Because he goes, butthole surgery. I'm like, what? Butthole surgery? There's another episode, by the way. I have another episode in tow that I haven't finished editing yet, and it goes into our whole like, I'm gonna open a food truck based on wrestling gimmicks, and I'll just give you a real quick preview. I say because Yokozuna, it was In Your House 4 or Great White North, Yokozuna versus Mabel, and I think I call Yokozuna Yoko Tuna, and that kind of sets the rant off. I'm working on that one because I have a friend who just wrote a new intro for us, and I'm kind of, it's like not great, but I like the guy, so I don't want to like say like, oh, that's great, So I'm trying to figure out how to work into it, and I got to edit the whole episode because it's fucking 7 hours long.
Hey, I really loved Canyon. He was a great friend of mine, and I'm going to make a bunch of jokes about how he's dead.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? How do you think there's a pole that can hold Canyon's corpse up? What the fuck, Buff?
Because I think a skeleton can hang on a forklift better than my mom.
Oh my god!
I'm like, holy shit!
And then he's like, "Queewee, you fag!" It's like, whoa!
That's so fucked up.
Yo, Ryan, did you check out the whole episode of Queewee on Shaq Rapple and Cheap Pops? I was sending you a bunch of clips.
I saw what you sent me, and then I saw that they got posted on Wrestle something where they quoted it, and that's what made me bring it up.
Yeah,
and I didn't even get the fucking question out of my mouth, and he's like, "That fucking fag," and he's a cocksucker. It's like, Jesus, Buff.
Damn.
Yeah, because Queewee was like, dude, I stepped to him, called him Buff Bag of Dicks, and he wouldn't do anything to me. And look, one of them sounds lucid, the other one doesn't. So, I mean, whose side are you taking?
I'm going to believe Queewee. But we did get a guarantee from Buff Bagwell that if he ever decides to blow his brains out, he's going to do it on our show. So,
that's what he said.
He literally said that because he goes, if I ever woke up and I was Queewee, I'd take a 357 Magnum to my mouth, and I go, can you do that on our show? And he's like, yes.
I mean, obviously that would be our highest rated episode.
If they do a dark side on Buff Bagwell, I think Queewee should be interviewed, and they should put the Front Face Lock interview in the documentary.
I'd love that. That'd be amazing.
This interview goes in the Smithsonian. This interview to the Cotton Flower Rally Club.
And then
by ipso facto, this after interview also goes in. So
they'd be like, it's a circle.
Man, I tell you
they'd say, listen, Ryan and Vinny from Front Face Club podcast, how do you feel about his suicide after you repeatedly called him a mid-carder to his face?
So here's the thing.
I had to get him to pull the trigger one way.
because we paid for the interview, and Marcus, like I said, have him on the show. Negotiate though, offer him $100, he'll do it, and he'll fucking.
Yeah. And he was 2 hours.
Yeah, we did 2 hours. He said $100. I said $100 for an hour. This is what he said to me. By the way, $300 for the hour, $500. This is like I felt like I was talking to a hooker. $300.
Well, he is a hooker. He's a
gigolo.
$500 for
with a turtleneck.
He's the reboot of a Deuce Bigelow male gigolo we wouldn't watch.
Yeah,
women give them pleasure.
His words, his dick was this big, but he said $300 for the hour, $500 for 4 hours, whatever. And that's why I asked him, I'm like, wow, it was easy. It was cheaper for me to fucking like book you for a date. But I literally texted him. I have the screenshot. I sent to Vinny. I was like, dude, no disrespect. We're going to give you $100 for the hour. And it was like 5 minutes later. It was like, yeah, I'll take that. And I text Vinny and go, he accepted. And he's like, no, he didn't. I'm like, yeah, he fucking did.
He's like, just to let you know, I was fucking this girl and my dick was this big.
My dick was this big. It's like, oh.
He had 2 inches of hot dick.
And he's like, and I was trying to, I was trying to get as close to her ass as possible for doggy style. And he was like, the director was like, no, you don't really fuck her.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's like
my dick was like this big and I could barely touch her pussy.
Was that who he apologized to? I saw he apologized to somebody, and I'm like,
yeah,
who the fuck apologized during sex?
He's like, it's a fine line between Showtime and that other thing, and I'm like,
porn.
Like
that other thing.
Wait, porn.
And then we asked him if he was
the porn director Rob Black or something?
Oh boy, you watch that shit? That fucking guy.
No, I was thinking of Dark Side of the Ring. Well, no, you said porn director, and I'm like, well, Rob Black. And then I watched XPW's Dark Side of the Ring last week. I don't know if y'all watched it.
I did.
I'm behind on the Dark Side of the Ring this season. I'll watch next week on.
Oh, bro, that XPW one. That XPW one was probably the most insane one I saw since the plane ride from hell.
Okay, I'm gonna piss and grab beers, and then I'm gonna talk about a Dark Side of the Ring that me and Vinny talked about last week. Fuck Nick Cage. I'll be right back. Anything you're saying. Fuck Nick Cage.
MDK. Fuck the fuck.
Yeah.
What are you watching?
Me?
I just got done.
Far Cry 6.
Hey,
playing a video game?
Soon. After I'm done with this.
I'm about to put on Sanford and Son.
What?
About to
Go
put on.
for it.
I already did.
Well, I don't know if you missed my. So at the beginning of the podcast, before we got Buff Bagwell on, we were waiting for him to show up, and I made the mistake of saying, if he doesn't show up, we're going to have to buy Vincent. And I didn't mean that we're going to buy Vincent. I meant we were going to pay Vincent for an interview, and it sounded really bad. It sounded horrible.
I saw Lonely Virgil in person.
Come on, he needs that breadstick money.
He was at the mall. He's at the Christiana Mall in Delaware, and me and my buddy, like, we walked back and forth, and we're like, "Wait a second, is that Virgil? That's not Virgil." And he's wearing your shirt, the NWO white and black. There's got to be Virgil. So we walk over to the table, and he wanted like $25 for an autographed picture.
Okay.
And I actually had a Ted DiBiase poster when I was a kid, and it was him and Virgil. He had that 8x10 autograph. I gave him $3 for it.
You took $3 for it?
Yeah. But he told the Ricky Henderson story of the $1 million check. You ever heard that story? Ricky Henderson, he got $1 million signing bonus from the A's, and he framed it. And the A's were doing their books, and they were like, "We're missing $1 million." So they called up Ricky Henderson, and they were like, "Hey man, did you cash that check we gave you?" He's like, "Oh no, I got it in a frame on my wall." So you can't do that. You got it. He told us that he got $1 million from Vince McMahon for some show in Tokyo, that he never cashed the check. And he told the whole Ricky Henderson story. I was like, I'm listening to the story. I'm like, man, I've heard this before. I heard this. It was like 3 years later. I heard that story again. I was like, motherfucker, that's a new one. And he had a picture of him standing next to the 58 Chevy fucking NWO car. And he's like, oh yeah, Hogan let me keep that. I was like, okay, man. Okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm giving you $3 for this autograph.
Vincent.
Fuck that guy.
He's a hot mess. I would love to do an interview with Vincent just to see how fucking insane he is.
So here's our goal, by the way. So we're into season 2, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah. But my goal, we got Buff real early, obviously. But I want to have Marty Jannetty on, and I want him to get so pissed he leaves. Because
he won't though, because he's nuts.
Who?
Marty Jannetty apparently lives 2 towns. Okay. Marty Jannetty apparently lives 2 towns over from me. According to his Wikipedia, he lives in Toms River, which is like 2 towns over from where I live. I want to have him on this show and get him so pissed he leaves. I don't care if I'm paying $300 for him. I want him to leave our show, which I was half tempted to do tonight.
Hopefully he doesn't throw himself through the window again.
I got another.
I have a window right there he can throw himself through.
I got another season idea for y'all. Virgil.
That's what I just said.
Oh,
we're working on Virgil.
He needs that breadstick money.
Yeah, it took you like 50 episodes to get Adam Baum on, and then it took you 2 episodes to get Bagwell on.
Yeah,
it says a lot when it takes longer to get fucking Brian Clark on here than fucking.
Because we didn't pay Brian Clark. We didn't pay Brian Clark. We just shit talked him for 6 months.
He showed up out of nowhere.
When you watch that episode, or if you listen to that episode, it was literally like I literally said he's not here, so fuck him, and he pops into the streamline.
Yeah, I loved how fucking quick
we were talking shit about him, and you're like, "Oh my god, he's here." I'm like, "No, he's not." He was like, "Yeah, he is." I'm like,
I swear to God, I swear on everything holy, my mother's life, that was not planned. He just fucking showed up exactly that moment, and I was just like, "Oh fuck, he's
awesome.
here."
That's all I gotta say.
And we would send him shit every week.
Oh yeah, you're talking about skip leg day and all that shit.
That should be your gimmick. Just fucking DM and wrestlers. You should have never paid Bagwell. He'd have gave in.
He probably would have.
I paid him because he doesn't run his Twitter. His fucking agent Vincent, who got him beer during the interview, runs his Twitter. And because when I spoke to his agent I think Marcus did the same thing. I spoke to his agent first, and he's like, "Well, I run the Twitter, and he charges $300." I'm like, "That's absurd. I'm not paying him fucking $300." And then when I actually spoke to Buff, and he's like, "Well, Buff was in the NWO," and I'm like, "I don't fucking care." I didn't say that. I'm like, I'm like, Justin Credible was a bigger star than you.
So his agent was the one that followed me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Same.
He followed me too.
Yeah, it's Buff's account. Like Buff looks at it, but Vincent, his agent, runs it.
Okay.
Why don't you interview him?
That fucking idiot, really? I hope he's not listening because I don't want to have to pay him more money because he's suing me because I wouldn't send him to rehab or some shit like that.
I want to find Perry Saturn because he's a hot mess.
He got to bring Moppy on too.
He has to bring Moppy on.
Apparently, they did that gimmick because he fucked somebody up.
He fucked a jobber up in the ring because that jobber fucked a move up.
What if you could get Taka on here?
Taka Michinoku?
Yeah, what if you could get Taka on here?
If we can get Taka and Tajawa. Taka and Tajawa in the same interview. That'd be amazing. I would just let them talk.
Or Quang.
You should get Sandman.
Fuck that guy.
Exactly.
Didn't he clean himself up?
I don't know. But
I think he did.
Fuck that guy too.
You should get Nick Gage on and so you can tell him fuck you and get that tooth fixed.
Okay, so that's what I was saying before I went to take a piss. Fuck Nick Gage. He has no talent. He's a fucking Camden piece of shit. And I know you guys are not from Jersey. So, Justin, where are you from? I know, Bishop, you're from Delaware. Marcus, Louisiana. Justin, where are you from?
I'm in New York. I'm in New York.
Oh, you're in New York. So you're close to us. So you know Camden.
Bishop and Justin should be familiar with Camden.
Yeah. Him and his...
Oh, you're not from like real New York. You're from like New York State.
Yeah.
Which is real New York.
Well, in like the rest of the country.
Camden's where all the cool concerts are.
Let's put it this way. 10 years
and
ago.
And the AIDS and the heroin.
Yes.
10 years
ago. The AIDS and the heroin to get to the BLT Pavilion.
10 years ago, Camden was the worst city in the country.
Murder capital of the world.
It was the murder capital of the world. Now it's like third or fourth. Like St. Louis is number one. But
because there's nobody who lives there anymore.
Where would New Orleans
Camden was the worst. New Orleans was like 10th or 12th on the list.
I think
Camden
it was
number one.
Shit.
Camden was the worst fucking place in the world. Now, Vinny does not know anything about prisons, by the way. Not a thing.
Nothing at all. I've never worked in a prison.
He's never worked in a prison. He's never been to a prison. He's never been a corrections officer. But they don't just fucking take you off the bus and go, find a bunk. Good luck, fucker. They don't do that.
Here, you figure it out, guy.
Oh,
Doesn't happen that way.
I gotta.
It's not like Vinny worked at the prison that Nick Gage actually technically was at that had a farm because he's farmer Nick Gage.
He's milking
Fuck
cows.
that guy.
He said he on top of Jericho. He said he milks cows at that farm.
Yeah.
If you listen to fucking
He's
Jericho.
a fucking piece of shit loser. And his girlfriend's a fucking Camden crack whore.
I mean, if the farm was to be named anything, it wouldn't have been named Jones Farm in Trenton on Bear Tavern Road. That's not what it would have been at all.
It's not like Vinny knows anything about this.
Nothing.
And I don't know how ghetto he really is, claiming his fan base is like a gang, MDK, murder, death, kill. And he gets like all down to earth. He's like, MDK for fucking life, bitch. All that shit.
No, he sucks.
Yeah.
He lied and says that he was on a wing with murderers when he wasn't. They weren't murderers. He was on that wing for like a month. And then he got sent to the farm.
It's not like Vinny has access to the whole police records of everybody who's ever been imprisoned in New Jersey. It's not like he has access to that and can actually look up exactly what Nick Gage was in there for. And it's not like he did that on, his own and then text me and sent me screenshots and all this shit. It's not like he did that because I'm not going to say he did do that. But, it's not like Nick Gage is lying about everything he said about being in prison.
Well,
He recently had a match with freaking Minoru Suzuki on GCW. Oh my god, it was actually really fucking bad.
Bad? What do you mean bad? Like brutal bad, or it match completely?
No,
sucked?
like it would fucking sucked. Like they spent most of the match. They spent most of the match brawling in the crowd. You couldn't see a fucking thing of like for the longest time. They finally get back to the ring. We get a fucking because their tables, quote unquote, are fucking doors that you have to set up on fucking chairs. And he literally just like put Suzuki in the corner and took like half the match setting up.
Nobody put Suzuki in the corner.
I was just going to say that.
He had Suzuki just sitting in the fucking corner, just watching him. And he's setting the fucking door up on the fucking chairs. And it felt like the entire match just stopped. Just watching him set the fucking door up.
Not Nicholas Wilson, right?
Was it worse than Gage and Moxley or Gage and Cardona?
It was worse than both of those, actually.
Both of those which take place in Atlantic City at the Showboat, which I had friends that went to and said they were the worst fucking matches they've ever seen in their entire life.
Which ones?
Both of them.
Gage and Cardona? Gage and Cardona was actually fucking crazy.
If you were there, apparently, because I have friends that were there, and they're like, that was fucking terrible.
Matt Cardona sucks fucking the biggest amounts of dick, more than anybody ever.
And according to Buff Bagwell, he sucks the right dick because he wins.
Does he win? He won the Intercontinental Championship for a day. Does he really win?
Yeah.
Now,
I could take Nick Gage in a death match.
Marcus,
and Fred was like a sponsor.
I think it's funny Matt Cardona's girlfriend keeps getting fired from every promotion she's with.
It's because she keeps getting fucking injured.
Marcus,
what's that Arn Anderson line?
Marcus, I'll pay. Suck.
She sucks.
Marcus, I'll pay for you to fight Nick Gage in a match.
And then,
do it,
Now, what about me and Dominic Mysterio? Because I fucking hate Dominic.
We all hate Dominic. Who likes Dominic? Is there a Dominic Mysterio fan ever?
His dad.
There's people watching this right now.
Oh,
Tell me
his dad
Dominic Mysterio fan.
Oh wait, I gotta.
His dad hates him.
I don't know if you listen to our previous episodes. I can't believe I'm going to mention this, but if you never listen to our previous episodes, I got a proposal for you, Ryan.
I'm two episodes behind in your show, and I apologize.
You might have heard it, maybe you didn't, but I'm gonna ask you, since you're a Bills fan, do y'all have like at least a fight song or something?
Well, when they score a touchdown, it's usually shout or shout. The Bills make you shout.
Okay, Seven Nation Army, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I
funny though because the Giants haven't had a fight song in a while because they haven't scored a touchdown in like 6 years.
since they played the
I mean, that's cool. The Bills haven't had a really good fight song in a while since they've never won a Super Bowl ever.
Well, wait,
Living in the past.
Well, you're living in the past. You just said 6 years, brother. I can live in the past too.
I got a proposal for Ryan and
anybody who's real quick, shut the fuck up, Marcus. Anyone who hasn't won anything ever always says, "Oh, you're living in the past." When you talk about a team that actually won something previously.
Wait a minute, you're a fucking Nets fan just like I am, and you say the same thing about Yankees fans.
No, I don't. I just say 27 World Championships when you've been around since 1903 isn't really as astonishing as you make it seem.
Living in the past.
It's not living in the past. It's just the amount of time in years. Like if you've won 30 championships not 30, but 15 championships in the first 20 years of existence of MLB, and you have 8 teams, it's a lot easier to win with 8 teams than it is with 32. How many championships have the Yankees won in the past 20 years?
I agree with you on the Yankees thing.
One. The Giants have won.
It's like being a Jets fan and
4 championships in the last 40 years, or 4 championships in the last 40 years, and the Bills have still won 0. It's a fact.
Wow.
I mean,
all right,
still got there 4 times in a row. Anyway, Marcus, what's your proposal?
Okay, I know what you're gonna pick, and you're gonna use this as witness and these guys, but. Okay, you know how pissed I was when Vinny's Giants beat the Saints. And then I told Dylan and Jordan, I said, we cannot let both members of Front Face Lock beat our team. I said, I am so confident that we'll beat the Bills. Now, I was going to give you I'll give you a easy proposal. If the Saints beat the Bills, then you got to do the Who Dat chant on your show. Now, on our show, if the Bills win, I know what you're going to pick, but that's why I asked if y'all have a fight song.
You should put a buffalo wing in your ass.
No.
I like it. I like what Bishop said. I like it. Let's do it.
Nuclear heat.
Wait. It gets better.
There's more.
I'm so confident that the Saints will beat the Bills that if the Saints don't beat the Bills on Thanksgiving, then myself, Dylan, and Jordan, for the first time ever, we're going to all 3 do a show together. No, we're all 3 going to do this show together live. We're not in triangle. We're all 3 going to do this show together live, not on separate screens. And as a bonus, after the show's over, we'll still be live. I will let Jordan and Dylan both put me through a table.
Oh, shit.
You're going to be getting that Diamond Dallas dick. This is you're gonna be
a flame. It's got to be a flaming table.
Oh, I can't.
Marcus will be laying on it, so automatically. Just kidding.
So you want to be put? You will be put through a table if the Bills beat the Saints on Thanksgiving. But if they lose, what do I have to do?
Just sing the Who Dat chant. You know the Who Dat. Who Dat.
I don't know what that means. What it was
Who
that?
Who Dat them Saints.
Who that say they're gonna beat them Saints?
You can just literally make up the lyrics. They don't even know what they're saying.
Yeah. Who dat, bullshit win.
Listen, Marcus, if you get put through the table,
I agree.
Dylan and Jordan have to dress like the Dudley Boys.
I don't know if they can both pick my fat ass up and do a 3D.
No, you're gonna powerbomb me or some shit. I don't know. Who's going to put you through a table?
Both of them.
Yeah.
How are you going to go through it?
Maybe
double choke slam?
Probably. Maybe a double choke slam.
Okay, so just have them dress like the Dudleys anyway and say, Jordan, get the table.
Choke slam me through a table, or they can throw me off the roof of a house or a barn.
Oh, my God.
Oh, house. Throw you off the roof of a house.
Cool. Listen, how about this? You get thrown off the roof of your house while Buff Bagwell is in front of your house shooting himself in the head with a 357.
On the show.
He'd have to do the dance first.
While Ryan chants the Who Dat.
Yeah, he's got to do the dance first.
Vinny, do the dance.
And then do the pose with it.
Looks like
Bishop, we asked the question. You told me to ask the question, Bishop. I asked the question.
Yes, and you guys tagged me. I appreciate that. But that's where I felt bad for him because I'm like, this guy is actually humble in his gimmick, but he's half an asshole all the time. But because that's the thing, it goes from it's just made up on the spot to it was the most over thing ever in the back of the no, it wasn't. It's fucking stupid. Everybody hated it.
Like, listen, I just want to let you know that my sequins were the coolest sequins that ever entered a WCW ring. Like, no one cared. Scotty Riggs, that's where his career went down. No, Scotty Riggs was never anything, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And he's like, when my mother showed up, and I love Judy Bagwell, I will say that now. I love Judy. It was like when she showed up, there was no female wrestling at all. It's like, was there? I mean, like Lita and Trish were having amazing matches, and I believe Medusa was still in WCW at that point. So there was still females wrestling. Just it wasn't your mother.
Marcus, I will say though, Buffalo Bills are going to beat the Saints. Sorry.
He just wants to go through a table.
Yeah, he does.
I haven't been through a table since my backyard wrestling days. I'm pretty sure it'll hurt as fuck.
Are you going to have Michael Thomas back by Thanksgiving?
We probably will. We got shit. I don't know. We barely beat the fucking Seahawks Monday night without Russell Wilson.
Well, it was like a fucking.
We'll have Dawson Knox back by Thanksgiving because he broke his wrist. So yeah, you're gonna lose.
Okay. Well, I better go start practicing falling off the roof of a house.
Jesus. I used to get thrown to a table me and Vinny used to work at a haunted house, and
that's how y'all scared people.
Yeah. We literally worked at a haunted house for like 4 years, and there was a room in the haunted house. It was the Frankenstein Rising room, and there was this guy whose name was John Berger, and he was a 7 foot tall, 15-year-old. Yeah, he was like 400 pounds, 7 foot tall. And the reason he got hired is because our boss saw him at a pet store or saw him at a Halloween store and said,
eating a fucking puppy.
Yeah, he saw this guy. We were shopping for Halloween decorations because we were friends with the boss, and he sees this fucking giant fucking monster. And he goes up to his mother. He goes up to his fucking mother and goes, "What do you feed that fucking kid? Like Alpo?" And he goes, the mother's like, "What?" He goes, "He needs to work in my haunted house." So the kid's like 15 years old. He's 7 foot tall, 500 pounds, whatever.
Probably plays in the NBA
videos
right
of it,
now.
by the way. No, he's I think he's dead. I don't know.
Damn.
But there's videos of this guy choke slamming me through a table at least once on News 12 New Jersey because they did something with us. I don't know if you were there, Vinny. You might have actually left for Iraq at this point. Yeah. And there's videos of this guy choke slamming me through a table, and I have pictures of him doing it. And it was like a nightly thing we did Thursday through Sunday where he would choke slam me through a table. To the point that the manager got mad. It was like, "Dude, I can't keep buying fucking tables." And I'm like, "Then fire the fucking monster. Like, what do you want? I'm going to get choke slammed through a table every fucking night."
Because that scares people. Because that scares people.
It was Ryan. It was always the last group of the night. We always did it the last group of the night. And it's like, this is it? Is it? We're closed after this group? All right. And I'd do my little act, and then I'd run to the back room, and I'd run out when Frankenstein was being rose because he was Frankenstein, and I'd go, "Yeah!" And he'd fucking grab me by the throat and choke slam me through this table, and I have videos of me like in the air getting choke slammed, and I'd be like, "Oh God, that one hurt." And then there's pictures of him smashing fluorescent bulbs over my head, which is what my brother's convinced that why I'm losing my hair, because I didn't have any like hat or anything. He just smashed fluorescent bulbs over my bare head.
So Nick Gage isn't an original. You were doing that shit before him.
That's why Nick Gage sucks. Fuck that guy.
Ryan, if you take Ryan's face and Nick Gage's face, Ryan is the before picture, before the meth, and Nick Gage is the after.
There's only one way to find out.
Have him on the show.
I have to do meth.
Ryan has to do the meth.
I have to do meth.
Oh, do as much meth as possible, Ryan. Starting today.
Jesus.
Can I get some meth? Hey!
Was Buff Bagwell's fucking assistant gonna come out and hand you some?
You
gotta write like
screen.
You gotta have
All right,
like
guys, I gotta
journal
get out
I
of
need
here.
entries
some
on it.
meth.
Forehand.
Day of
Yeah, we're
math.
gonna go
Go
for it.
again.
Yeah, I'm taking off.
I'm taking off too.
Everybody's leaving.
Yeah,
Yes.
I gotta go get put through a table and start practicing.
Well,
Just-
Vinny, Justin, Marcus, Bishop, Buff Bagwell, thank you for appearing on our show tonight.
Can't forget about
We are
Judy.
sponsored by Lucky 13 Beard Company. Got my stickers
Yeah.
finally, and I got my coasters.
I got mine. I used mine today too. I got 2 magnets on the wall because I ordered some more shit. I got the apple and the pumpkin I've been wearing all month. I'm at.
Justin,
You've been
you
talking.
have a beard. Get this shit. It's fucking awesome. I have the beard bomb. I have the lavender beard bomb. It's fucking awesome.
That's gonna probably be the next
Shit.
flavor I'm gonna get because that's all you've been talking about is the lavender.
Yeah, I remember you talking about
dude,
the lavender one.
I put that shit in my beard. Like it's like a lip balm, and you rub it in your hands, and you like go like this, and you comb it, and your beard just gets smooth, and you just like. I work. I have to wear the mask, so all I smell is lavender. It's fucking awesome.
He got a
That's
new
awesome.
he got a new flavor out. I think it's called the Big 4-0.
Yes, I
It's-
saw that online.
It's like fucking ice cream. It's cupcake, chocolate, whatever the fuck, espresso and raspberry.
Interesting.
Justin, you have
As
a
long-
beard though. Get Lucky 13 Beard Company, man. Like get their shit. Follow
got-
Justin on Twitter. Justin, what is your Twitter?
Just in time 211.
Follow
We got the shit ton of freaking. We got the shit ton of people that you usually see in the Follow Fridays. Follow them all.
Follow every one of them and follow Justin. He's fucking awesome. Bishop left like a fucking thief in the night, but terrible wrestling take. Love that guy. Marcus, we like you now. So
It's Justin. Justin, you have me blocked.
No, you blocked me, it says.
Why?
I don't know. It says you got me blocked.
I don't block people.
It was weird. I was like, what the fuck?
I don't block people.
Yeah, I don't have you
We like
blocked.
Justin.
Well, you're unblocked. But I don't unblock people.
like-
It's weird.
We like Justin. He's like the other encyclopedia. It's like me and Justin are like the encyclopedias.
Our brains were in sync.
Right there. It's a lot of stupid going back and forth. Marcus, your worldly. Tell us everything. Where are you?
Oh, we're everywhere except TikTok. I don't do that TikTok bullshit.
Well, you're a
on-
fucking idiot.
If I want to do TikTok, I just look at my iWatch to see what time it is.
You should put the table spot. You should put your table spot on TikTok.
Oh,
I
hold
will.
on. I'll put it on the podcast's Facebook and Twitter page and
I'll probably see it
Instagram.
on your Twitter page. That'd be awesome.
Well,
It'll be on our
Mark-
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Fucking A.
Marquise, what is your Instagram and what is your podcast? Tell everyone.
Podcast is at World Elite Pod. I'm at Marcus Hay. If you want to follow my co-hosts, Dylan changed his name to Real Dylan Abear. Jordan's Jordan_J2000. We're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Just type in World Elite Podcast. We're right there. You can subscribe to our show on all platforms. You can get your podcasts: Apple Pod, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're everywhere.
They're on the list too for a reason.
They are.
You guys are on the
Justin,
list.
You're awesome to us, to all of us, to everybody in the podcast community. You're fucking awesome, and so that's why we always invite you to all of our live streams.
Just make the list.
Vinny, where are you? Where are you? You're on this side. Where are you?
I am at VinFrontface LOK on Twitter. That's pretty much it. You can find me anywhere on Facebook, Instagram. Just use my name, but I'm not telling you my name, so you have to figure it out. Oh.
You can find the show Front Face Lock at Twitter and Front Face Lock Podcast, and anywhere you can find a podcast. Anchor.fm, Spotify, Audacity, Odyssey, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. Spotify
iTunes.
bullshit.
Apple Podcast, not iTunes. Apple Podcast.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Fuck it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck
Just
if I know
search Front
podcast.
Face Lock. just Google search Front Face Lock Podcast, World Elite Podcast, Just in Time 211, Terrible Wrestling Take. Find all of us. It's time. It's Justin time. Justin. Okay, here's the thing. Halloween's coming up on Sunday. Your name's Justin Time. What do we have to do to get you to Vader's fucking mask. Haircut, the Vader mask and haircut it, and come on our show on a live stream because I'm off on Sunday. I'll do it with you. And you just come on and go, it's time! It's Justin time! And then just
fucking hell, I'll do it. I'll do it. Fucking hell. Don't take nothing. Mark, just do it.
It's Halloween. Vinny, you're working, I'm assuming?
No, I'm off, but I'll be trick-or-treating my kids after that. I might be able to do I'll come on as Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, you're Buff Bagwell. You're just in time. I'll be you, Marcus. You're going to be whatever the fuck thing you say you're going to be.
No, that's just on Good Cop, Bad Cop. No, Halloween, I'm going back to doing what I did last show as Orange Cassidy.
Oh, fuck you.
Ugh. Hey, listen, Marcus, I just want to tell you.
I got the jacket right here.
Listen,
the World Elite episode of Good Cop, Bad Cops this Sunday, right?
Saturday,
right?
2 p.m. Saturday at 2 p.m. But I'm not going to dress as Orange Cassidy. I'm going to dress as somebody else, and the comments are going to come from Vinny and Ryan if they watch.
Marcus,
I'm working, but I'll watch it after.
When you go trick or treating, people traditionally hand out candy. I know you're expecting cocks, but they normally hand out candy. Okay? So don't be disappointed when you say trick or treat and penises don't fly into your mouth or your little arm.
Another Reese's? Come on. I wanted cock.
Yeah.
Skittles? What kind of Mickey Mouse operation are you running here? I want a big black cock in my mouth.
I want a Reese's peanut butter dick.
That's right.
Exactly.
How many licks does it take to get to the juicy center of this Ninth Ward penis?
I don't know. Ask that owl in the fucking tree that's in all the commercials.
Why don't we ask Queewee? Right, Buff?
Oh my God.
Right? Right.
the
What the hell is that off of? No, but what was that off of? Why the fuck
Revenge
did I
of the
think of that
Nerds.
shit? Which one?
Like,
there's like fucking 5 of them or more.
It's a mix of that and Vinny's thing and fucking Juventude. That's the greatest fucking thing ever.
Here's the thing.
One?
So this
is you singing Juventude.
So you want to know why it takes me so long to edit an episode? Like I said, I have an episode I haven't even finished yet that I'll release after one. Probably 3 down the line. But it's because Vinny says so. First of all, Vinny is the king, and I mean this in the most respectful way. Vinny is the king of follow-up questions. So when we do interviews, I come up with 15, 20 questions, but Vinny's the best at follow-up questions, right? So the interview our interview shows are very easy because question, and Vinny's like amazing at follow-up questions. But when I do regular episodes, Vinny says so much fucking shit that I listen to and I go, oh yeah, that's perfect for this sound clip. Perfect for that. So the 4-hour episode, and this one's now 3:27, but it's going to be 2, obviously the buff and the post buff.
Yeah.
Vinny will say something, and I go, "Oh, that was a reference to a movie we like." And then I have to go on YouTube, and I have to find it, and then I have to download the audio. Yeah, and then I have to download the audio. Then I have to fucking put it in the right place. And then I have to listen to it again and go, is that perfectly timed? It's perfect. I should get fucking paid for this shit because it takes me fucking 5 days. Because he'll go real quick. And then it's 20 minutes later. And it's like, that wasn't real quick. That was not real quick at all. It'll be like, hey, Charlotte Flair sucks. Real quick.
Real
quick. I hate
Charlotte
Flair
sucks. That is correct.
Flame. Charlotte Flair sucks.
Just have a shirt of just Vinny's
when y'all
just
use
Vinny's head that just says real quick on it.
When y'all used the Chris Farley from Billy Madison, I laughed
Real-
fucking hysterically. Y'all should use the him and
Yeah,
her got
that's the
it
thing.
on. Woo! Y'all should use that one.
Yes.
Or good, great, grand, wonderful.
Everybody on the bus.
Or do we have to do this with cat and dip shit over here?
Ryan froze. Hey, Christmas tree.
I'm not frozen.
He was frozen.
Yeah. I'm just frozen because of all the fucking time it's going to take me to edit this episode. Because you say shit that's funny.
We'll start a GoFundMe account.
Because you're
for
always
you.
angry. It's because he's always angry. I love it.
Well, you're welcome, sir.
Hoovitude. You got some fucking Hoovitude. Yeah, Justin knows.
You got some fucking
Is there any future episodes coming up y'all gonna watch?
I can't believe what you said to me. You got the
I love that.
Marcus,
inside your luchador was probably a whore.
I listened to that early in the morning, and I tried not to laugh because I was at work. I was trying not to laugh out loud just so everyone wasn't looking at me like, what the fuck happened? And I'd be like, don't worry.
If you don't shut your mouth, you'll moonsault to the floor. Just saying.
Marcus, to answer your question, I don't know because we're running out of pay-per-views.
Yeah.
We might start going match to match.
I don't know,
Just
but
do TNA one.
nothing made me cry. I'll tell you what, nothing had me on the floor crying more than the whole fucking Vinny Sean Stasiak scene.
Oh, Salisbury Stasiak?
When he lost it.
Salisbury Stasiak,
When he
yeah.
just fucking lost it.
When Buff Bagwell said today that he was in Salisbury, Maryland, I wanted to say
heard that.
Salisbury Stasiak.
I looked right at you, and you had the sunglasses on, but we made eye contact. I know, and it was just like
Salisbury
He's like, what's going to happen?
Oh,
Salisbury Stasiak, Diamond Dallas Deer is pretty good.
yeah. And Vinny got mad at me because it took me like 3 weeks to do the my Sting reaction, and it was like, okay, yeah, I get that my Sting reaction was funny, but I also had 4 episodes to edit, and then I actually had to go through our whole episode and find my Sting reaction. And
I was like, another Sting, another Sting.
Yeah, that one was funny too.
Yes.
Another Sting. What the fuck is going on?
Baffled by all the stings.
Hell, did y'all do which Halloween Havoc was it where the fucking fan got in the cage with Hogan and Piper? Wasn't that fucking 97?
that was 97. We haven't done 97 yet. But it's on
Yeah,
our
with the
list. 97 or 92 is going to be our next one.
You should have 93 on the list just because it was in New Orleans. But I actually went back and watched that one. The one with fucking Vader and Cactus Jack in the Texas Death Match from the Spin the Wheel.
Spin the wheel. Ooh.
Flair and Rude for the WCW International Championship.
We're running out of bad pay-per-views. That's the thing.
That one was kind of bad. You put steer horns on the fucking Spin the Wheel, and they were in Louisiana, not Texas.
It's time to break into a TNA one then.
The intro, y'all can talk bad about the intro.
I got a few Impact one.
Oh, I got some Impact ones for you. You got to do Victory Road, the one with Jeff Hardy. It's like fucking was in a that's another Dark Side of the Ring episode in the future. You got to do Victory Road 08. That was in Houston. I was at that one. That one was a shitty fucking ending.
Is that the one with fucking? Is that the one with Charmel and fucking?
Yeah,
Booker T and also. My God,
Booker T and Samoa Joe in the main event, and they were in Houston. And then Sting came out, and then Joe just flipped them off, and the match ended in a no contest out of nowhere.
See, I don't know a lot about Impact or TNA because I never watched it, so I'm going back now on Pluto TV and watching it all.
Why don't y'all do some ECW ones?
ECW ones aren't bad. That's the thing. That's like
well, y'all did one, but that didn't count. Y'all did December 2, December 06, but that didn't count. That was a WWE pay-per-view, by the way.
But ECW ones aren't bad.
Yeah, if you Google worst WWE pay-per-views, December to December is always number one.
Or you'll get King of the Ring. Or you'll get King of the Ring 93, but y'all did that one.
I just remember what we did.
I typed in worst WWE pay-per-views. I kept getting King of the Ring 93, but you already did that one.
We've done probably every
probably
bad
did.
thing we've ever done.
Yeah, we're
Like I
like
said, you
running
gotta
out.
find that bad
So we're
match. We have to do the Gerald Briscoe, Pat Patterson evening gown matches. Probably
Yes.
one of
Marcus
the-
actually Marcus made us a graphic for that one. So if we
Oh,
ever do
wow.
that one,
I don't
Marcus,
even
we're
know
gonna
if
use your graphic.
I don't even know if I still have it.
It should be still in the chat because you sent it to me in the chat.
I sent it like back in the summertime. I sent it so long ago.
Summertime.
Because we were gonna do that, and it was like something else came up, and it's like, oh, this one's worse. That's the problem. It's like
y'all should do one of them London pay-per-views from the Attitude Era, like Capital Carnage or something.
I heard that one was pretty bad too. I remember that.
There was another one. There was
The one where Jacqueline's tits popped out.
Insurrection or something like that.
Insurrection.
And the other one, New Year's. There's some New Year's fucking one.
New Year's Revolution.
Yeah.
No, five.
It's always
They
a
were
bad one.
actually. I
And
don't know.
Cyber Tuesday. Wasn't there like a Cyber Tuesday?
Cyber Sunday and then like Taboo Tuesday. Yeah.
Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday.
The
There's
fact,
also this.
the fact it was a Tuesday night pay-per-view was already ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a lot we could do. We just have to find them all.
There's like 2 or 3 Survivor Series I can name y'all can do. Y'all probably may have did 1 or 2 out of the 3. Y'all can do Survivor Series 95. Y'all can do. Did y'all do 94 with? Did y'all do 94 with Chuck Norris?
Yes.
No, yes.
Yes, we did.
Did y'all do 91 or 92?
We did 93.
We can find anything and just find something bad about it. I mean, the Bart Gunn match was a 30-second match at the WrestleMania Barn, and it was a 35-second match, and we did 45 minutes on a 35-second match.
Y'all did the whole episode on it.
The Beefcake Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the
Beefcake
funny
Kid.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my golden dildo, by the way.
And
what about 98? What about 98 Halloween Havoc with like the Hogan Warrior rematch and
they tried to
did
burn
that
them
one.
and shit, and you tried to burn them.
Shit, I'm going back and watching that one.
Give me
that one.
And when we just had the Halloween Havoc with the fucking Dracula in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
That was Great One North. Actually, I haven't.
Great One North.
Okay.
Oh yeah, y'all did do Survivor Series 94 because y'all were making fun of the Paul Bearer guy in the crowd.
Yes.
But Brutus Beefcake Kid, the Brutus Beefcake Kid was fucking top notch.
And then we had Nipple Tits.
Nipple tits.
Thiginas.
Yeah, thiginas and nipple tits.
We coin a lot of phrases on this show. I don't know what to do. Like, it just happens.
And I don't remember like half the things we talk about.
Yeah. There's a lot of times we go, did we talk about this?
Y'all should do WrestleMania 2000. That's another one.
That we haven't done that one yet.
We're gonna do it on Back to the Mania next year, but I don't know.
They made a video game of WrestleMania 2000, didn't they?
It was a ripoff of WCW Revenge, but it was still good. But
there is one episode I've been holding out for.
Yeah, it sold out.
No, it's Uncensored 96. And I've been holding out for that one because my brother's the one that got me into that one, which is kind of like the catalyst for this whole show. Because he's like, oh, God, you have to watch this. This is fucking terrible. And my brother's a huge wrestling fan as well. But he's the one that, set this whole ball rolling into this show, so you can blame him for this. And it's the triple cage with Hogan and Macho Man where they start at the top of the cage and they have to work their way down. Yeah.
Like the Ready to Rumble cage?
Worse than that. And then, they bring out the Zeke Gangster, which is Zeus. But, it's one of those ones where it's I need to make sure my brother's free to do this because I'm not doing this one without him because he'll be our special guest because it's he is that episode, that pay-per-view is the catalyst for this whole show. So I can't not do this one without him.
I mean, it's only taken him a year.
Special episode.
Almost a year.
Yeah, I know. He's got his own fucking radio show and bullshit.
Get on it.
WFDU.
All right, I'm about.
All right, so me too. Thank you guys very much. Find us all. You found, we all said it, guys. Always a pleasure. We'll do this again soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Fuck Wee.
Fuck Wee.
See it.
Wee.
See it.